feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SacktownSports.com and the Sacktown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper.
Well, Kyle Draper traveling with the Sacramento Kings basketball team. He's got the play-by-play duties tomorrow night when the Kings take on the Houston Rockets. Jay's going to be here momentarily, so nice enough to hang out with us for at least a little bit. Kyle Ledbetter. Thanks, Kyle.
Hey, Whitey. Happy to stick around. I get to be a drive guy, even if
Absolutely.
for just a second.
Yeah, happy Friday. You know what? I'm sure you guys talked about this today. Kings got a little bit of help last night, Kyle. How about that? You had the Suns and the Timberwolves losing. So right now, Sacramento, as they get ready to continue the road trip against the Rockets tomorrow night, Sacramento now 1 game out of the 8th spot, 1 game behind Minnesota, and 3.5 up on number 11 Phoenix. The more we look at it, the more it appears the Kings are probably going to get that 10th spot. You never know, but further and further behind are the Suns setting, if you will.
On our show today, we played the schedule game, which is something I like to do, which is if they do this, then they'll end up in this place. And even if the Kings go 5-12 in the month of March, and March is a gauntlet.
Yeah.
Even if they go 5-12 and lose every game they're favored against, or lose every game they're not favored and win every game they are, they'll still be ahead of the Phoenix Suns pace. Not to mention the Suns have the hardest strength of schedule in the league the rest of the way.
Mm-hmm.
But number 2 on that list is the Kings.
Yeah. Did you hear what happened between Devin Booker and Mike Budenholzer recently? Mike Budenholzer, by the way, fine coach. Things haven't worked out for him so far in Phoenix. He's one of those guys that, I played a little basketball myself in high school. So when I watch NBA games, sometimes I look at the coaches and I try to figure out which one of them, which ones I could beat one-on-one. And I used to think, Budenholzer, I'll take him easy. Well, it turns out he was a great college player and he played like in Europe somewhere. So I don't know if I could beat him. But anyway, be that as it may, recently Mike Budenholzer was telling Booker to tone it down in the huddles and on the court. We have the sound. Was this Chris Haynes reporting it?
This was a Haynes brief.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's a Chris Haynes with the story.
Chris Haynes with your Haynes brief for today. I was told that weeks ago, Mike Budenholzer called his star guard Devin Booker into his office to issue a complaint. And that complaint, I'm told, was that Booker was being too vocal on the court and during timeout huddles. He implored his star guard to tone it down to allow for the coach's voice to be heard. This completely shocked Booker, I was told. Now, after the Suns lost Thursday to the Pelicans, which saw them lose their 10th game in the last 12, Booker spoke publicly about how the lack of communication is hurting the team.
It could be fixed with just a little bit more talking, I say. Things get tough. We get quiet as a team, and from my experience and what I've seen, that's not the way to get through it. Skipping over the details and, always taking the, get them next game mentality. At some point you got to draw a line, and should have been drawn a long time ago. I'd rather two people say the wrong thing to each other out there than nobody talk at all and leave the gray area. So it's like any job or any group project that you do, you have to do it together. Yeah, I always look at myself first, but I also talk a lot.
Devin Booker. Yeah, he was told by his coach, tone it down, Devin. That team reeling. In my experience, that's a common theme with teams that aren't playing well, teams that underachieve, especially on the defensive end. But the Suns are just talking about the whole thing. You'll hear Kyle, a team, and you can't figure out what's wrong with them. Oh, we're not communicating. We're not talking enough. Sometimes it just means, you know what? You're just a bad team.
Yeah, that's very much a part of it for the Suns. I mean, they've lost at home to the Hornets. They've lost at home to the Pelicans now. They've dropped some crazy games this season, and they are not going to be able to recover from it. I think, well, first of all, I'm pretty sure Devin Booker just called Chris Haynes and told him what the meeting was about. I'm pretty sure that sounds like that sounds like where that sourcing was coming from. But I think that Mike Budenholzer is not long for that job at this point in Phoenix, not because of any job that he's done. Again, he's a champion coach, and as you said, you look like you could take him in a one-on-one game, but he's managed to win Coach of the Year, I think 3 times, maybe at least twice, maybe a third time at this point.
Well, he was a real good coach with Atlanta, too, remember, years ago.
2015, he won Coach of the Year. And so credit where credit is due to Budenholzer. I don't think it's going to work with this group for him, which means that Matt Ishbia is going to be paying 4 different coaches next season. He's going to be paying Monty Williams' salary. He's going to be paying Frank Vogel's salary, Mike Budenholzer's salary, and then an additional 4th coach, whoever they hire to replace him.
So Kings getting a helping hand from the Suns that just may not have the belly for the fight. Of course, sitting there in 10th, all right, you'd rather be in the play-in than not, but the Kings would love to climb, and so they may get another assist here from the Timberwolves in this regard. Last night, as you probably know, we had the Ant-Man getting teed up again, 16 technicals, so it's official. He has been suspended for tonight's game against the Jazz. So maybe, I know Minnesota played last night, second game of a back-to-back on the road, even if you're playing the Jazz. It's some say it's a scheduled loss. I don't know about that, but that would be nice if the Timberwolves continued to struggle anything close to the way the Suns are struggling. Maybe the Kings, as you say, Kyle, it's a gauntlet here. I've heard it described as a bloodbath, this schedule through March and the rest of the way. Maybe they just kind of hold on here. Maybe they start to creep up if these other teams start falling like rain.
I hope so, because for the Minnesota Timberwolves, they're emerging out of their bloodbath and they're walking into the nice, calm part of their schedule where they've got a lot of Spurs and Jazz and Hornets coming up for them. I believe as of a couple days ago, it changes so rapidly, but I think they had the second easiest schedule the rest of the way of any team in the league. And this is a team that's probably underperformed already this season. So I don't know if they'll get to 5 or 6, but hoping that they'll drop all the way to 10 seems like a far cry at this point.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. One more note on the Suns. I saw at least one Kings fan today suggesting, the Suns are falling apart, so the Kings need to make a run this offseason at Devin Booker or Kevin Durant. I'm not for that. I love both those guys, but that we need to build based on what the Kings have. Need to start getting maybe even younger as you get better, and then swapping out some of these guys for other aging stars that are not playing well where they are now. I don't think we need any part of that. Let's bring Jay into the fray. Hey, Jay, happy Friday. It's Friday, damn it.
It is. And, I actually didn't want to come in. I was going to say, no, I'm not coming in.
Yeah.
I'm out. But no, I had some personal thing going on and took a little longer than need be. But we're good. We're here. Shouts out to Kyle for
thank you, Kyle.
Being a honorary drive guy. Now he can wear the badge. I'm pretty sure Draper's going to say something about it, but we don't care what Drape says today because he's not here. But no, shouts out to you for being professional as well. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Kyle Draper will be with us. I don't know when he's with us again. Is he with us Monday?
You'll guess. No, I actually got to look. He sent out a calendar, so I have to check it out.
I know. It's like we got a pocket schedule for Kings, of course. We got pocket schedules for the 49ers and the A's. And then Jay and I also have a Kyle Draper pocket schedule.
Yes, I do. I have one. I was asking to see if I could get the magnet that goes up on the refrigerator.
Yeah.
I'm more of that. I don't have not one magnet or anything on the refrigerator. How about yourself?
Okay. I don't, but we do have some. But I asked Kyle about one of those, and he said, yeah, $9.
Oh, so he charging?
Yeah. So, and he said, no, I'm giving you a discount.
No, hell no.
Because you're my guy. That's what he told me.
So you should have just did what he does to Imran, which is, hey, man, look, use me as a vessel.
Right.
Let me, I'll promote it for you. Give it to me for $3.
Yeah. Jay, I need your help because I know you're preaching optimism. I'm optimistic about the Kings this season, but I'm pessimistic about the Rockets tomorrow night because I think it's a tough matchup for the Kings because Houston, very tough defensively.
Yeah, they are. But one thing about it is the Kings play the Rockets for whatever reason very well. They've played them well, of course, this season. I'm with you. The Rockets, who have faltered a little bit, we could probably agree on that, right? They faltered coming down the 5th spot, I believe, as of today. And it's ever interchanging every single day when it comes to the ratings. When it comes to the standings.
Yeah.
But I think the Kings, for whatever reason, match up well against the Rockets. And for me, when it's talking about the Kings versus the Rockets, it's all about the aggressiveness, the intensity. Can you be a dog? Can you be a pack of dogs? Because one thing about the Rockets are, and you saw this even last year when they weren't that good, they're a bunch of knuckleheads.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Ime Udoka's got those boys believing that they could go out and beat anybody at any time.
A lot more discipline.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Speaking of discipline, Campy says, Jay has arrived late. Take a lap. So I don't know how you feel about that, Jay.
That's good. I could dig it. You know, and I've been there before. You know what I tell Coach? Who was it? Wilt Chamberlain said this to who? Do you want me to give it to you all at practice? Or do you want me to give it to you at the game?
Yeah.
Right. So same situation.
Right.
Yeah, that's how I look at Campy.
Yeah. That, by the way, that's why a shoot around for the NBA is called shoot around and not practice.
Right.
Because they realized the Lakers created it and they said, if we call practice, Wilt's not coming.
Nobody's coming.
He ain't coming.
Yeah.
So we
walk
go
around.
Shoot around and then maybe he'll come on out.
Where you basically walk.
Yes. Didn't take long for the Kings to accomplish this, at least. And by the way, speaking of Jay running laps, that gives me an idea. We're back with that next. Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
This Saturday, Kings and Rockets. Team night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip off at 5.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Northwest Exteriors.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's finally Friday. It's also the final day of February, and we're bidding farewell to February on a spring-like note. Mainly sunny skies, light winds today. Highs will peak in the mid-70s and plan for overnight lows to drop back into the lower 40s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Northwest Exteriors wants to keep you cool all season long. Trusted in Sacramento for heating and cooling systems. Book your tune-up today as part of our 30th anniversary special. Call 888-TRUST-NW or visit trustnorthwest.com.
Simply the best. Trust Northwest.
Hey, everybody, it's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. All right, I know what you're thinking. Here we go again, another Drapes commercial for his guys and girls down there at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. But trust me, listen to this. Whether you're in the market for a new vehicle or a pre-owned vehicle, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, they'll take care of you. Trust me, they got certified pre-owned vehicles starting at 3.49 APR on select 2021, 22, and 23 models. And take it from me, when you go to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, you leave out feeling like you're valued, like they trust you, like they care for you. Matter of fact, it's like they're your family. That's right. So for over 30 years, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton has been there for the entire community. And get this, it's not that far away, guys. Just a short drive down I-5, or of course, online anytime at mbfstockton.com. So head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton and tell them Drape sent you.
Can't catch the rhythm of the stroke. Why should I hold my breath?
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
It's Jay and YT. You know, Jay was just mentioning Wilt Chamberlain. That has some people in the chat reminiscing about the old days.
Okay.
And we have Banta the Young saying, I miss that sky hook. Honestly, even Magic had a killer hook. Bring it back. Well, you know, everything's about the three now. So someday somebody will master the three-point hook shot. And then when that happens, then everyone's going to start shooting a three-point hook shot. Until then, it's going to be a relic.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm exaggerating a little bit. But remember,
who's the before you get to that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, finish your thought.
I was just going to say,
interrupt it.
Yeah, remember last week, Jerry Reynolds told us that he saw Pete Maravich dribble down the court at the end of a half and throw up a hook shot in the corner
against the Hawks.
And they didn't have three-pointers in, I don't think, but that probably would have been a three-pointer, I'm thinking.
And literally ran straight into the locker room at the same time.
Good night, everybody.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Who is, and I'm going to ask Jerry this, the legendary Jerry Reynolds, who joins us today at 4:00. And I'm glad we come to these conclusions when Jerry joins us on these certain days.
Yeah, because he's the authority.
Of course. Who is the last person in the NBA that you can remember who executed the sky hook?
The sky hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rare. You know, Webb used to have that
the little short baby hook.
Jump hook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Half hook.
Okay. Okay. How about then hook?
No, it's a good question. Yeah. I'm not saying it's not a good question. I just, does Jokic shoot one sometimes? I don't remember. I mean, Kareem was so good at it.
Yeah.
But it has to be somebody since Kareem.
Did Robinson ever have no, he kind of had the short.
I honestly don't recall that. You know, I can think of guys now and then like Bogut throwing one up occasionally, but not like, it's not like, here he goes in the post. Watch out for the hook.
For the hook.
Yeah.
I'm looking for somebody who had the hook, the one-hand joint.
Remember Al Jefferson?
Al Jefferson, for
One of
sure.
the last low post dinosaurs before people said,
had the hook.
We don't need. I think he had all the little moves, but I think, again, his was more of a little baby hook.
Baby hook.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take
But
that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta ask the legendary Jerry Reynolds, who's the last person who really, that was in their repertoire. Like, that was something they did.
Yeah.
Go to the hook.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Shaq in the beginning, Shaq had the hook. He kind of, that push hook, more or less. He go to the one-hand shot. There aren't many guys who go to the one-hand shot that's in their repertoire anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it was such a almost virtually unstoppable.
Man.
Yeah. Well, I think Bill Walton said he blocked Kareem's hook shot once. I don't know, but anyway,
I believe it.
We'll take that up.
Even though he's a great storyteller.
Yeah, with the great Jerry Reynolds when he joins us at 4. Okay, somebody mentioned, I think it was Campio said, "Hey, Jay was late. He should take a lap." Jay's not going to take a lap, but it reminds me of this, Jay, with the combine this weekend.
Yep,
I think we should have the Sacktown Sports Station combine, and I think we should at least have one event, maybe just the 50. Maybe just a 50-yard dash and see who has the best time on the station. We'd have to get everybody out in the parking lot, not at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think there's going to be a couple people who might fall out. Is the station going to sign off on this? See, this isn't the days. These aren't the days of the Rise guys, where you could jump out, shoot folks with paint guns and all that type of stuff. Yeah, I remember when I was interning, literally, and that was the one time I got to rock with you guys in the morning, and they were like, "Oh yeah, come set up and stuff." And this was at Hagen Oaks in the parking lot.
Yes.
And literally, I can't remember if it was SAC PD or military. That escapes my mind.
Oh, I think we had SWAT.
Was it SWAT?
SWAT officers out there.
Yeah, and they allowed people to come out and shoot M14s at like Little Joe and stuff. I'm like, no way people are signing
Phantom
off on
as the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, yeah, that might sound right. That sounds right.
Yeah, no, you're right. I forgot about that. But FP, as I remember, was on the show at that time, and he had some good friends, or probably still his good friends, who were SWAT guys.
Okay.
And so they came out and you want to do paintball? We'll show you how to do paintball.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no way people are signing off on that no more. The insurance people have to cover for that at the moment.
I'm not talking about paintball, just a nice little jog, and then the time, and
competitive. I think you have to do something in the form of not so much as running, because we got like Carmichael Dave. He's an intense smoker.
Right.
He might pass out.
Yeah.
I hear him talk about it here and there in the morning show, and I know he's trying to quit and things like that. But come on. When's the last time you think Dave was broke out into a 40-yard dash?
1980.
Kyle just laughed in the back. That lets you know.
I heard that. Allen might be the favorite, except that he's still recovering from an Achilles injury.
Okay.
And it's been a while. He might be fine, but he might have to bow out, and that opens it up.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Well, I like my chances against Allen straight up, frankly.
Ooh, I see you, baby. I see you.
Yeah. So I don't know. Rich Eisen does that thing. We could do a cone drill, but I have no idea what the hell that is.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, and then run around all the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could dig it.
Yeah. All right. So we're working on the combine. Maybe skills combines. I thought you'd be more excited about that, Jay, but you're probably right.
Because there's going to be a few people,
trouble.
Yeah, whose heart's palpitating. It's not going to be a good thing. We're talking about some OGs in the streets right now. OGs in the streets don't, unless you're doing something on a daily and or weekly basis.
I bet you Kyle Draper would be right up there. I bet you.
No, Drape's got a little knee injury.
Still?
Yeah, once you have it, 50, man. It's it's gonna be there for a while.
Ross, who's gonna win this thing then? If you're gonna compete.
Yeah, I don't know.
You were pretty fast when you played baseball.
Yeah, but not anymore. I'm done. I'm out. Yeah,
that guy behind you.
Kyle, I was thinking Kyle. Kyle might be the favorite.
Huh?
Kyle's 20. It's like who else? Frankie's like 24. Nunez is 21.
Frankie be fun unless there's a headwind, and then they're like, "Whoa, come back, Frankie."
Watkins is about 25ish, 6, 7. No, I kid. Guys are a little older, but I'm. Yeah. Kyle just now graduated high school, man.
Wow. That's great. Congratulations.
Right.
Yeah. Chris Verlaud?
Verlaud's got I believe he's had a few leg injuries.
My goodness.
Yeah.
It's like a hospital ward. I really didn't know it's getting depressing. What about so-and-so? Yeah, his leg fell off. When he was a kid.
Yeah. Listen, everybody, I guess we have a decent roster we have a few OGs who are like Jason Ross, who's been there for 40 years. He opened the company.
That is, by the way, in radio, that is very, very impressive.
Yes, unheard of.
Yeah.
And kudos to Jay Ross. I've said this, and you've jumped around 2 or 3 stations, a few stations. I've never seen anyone start and end at the same place.
Right.
And Jay Ross, literally, we're knocking on all these pieces of wood. That is amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
It's amazing. And then to double cross your own alma mater and go be the voice of the rival of your alma mater, and no one cares. He gets a free pass. Have you ever heard anyone? Have you ever heard anyone chin check Jay Ross for being the voice of the Sacramento State? He didn't go there.
Where did he go?
UC Davis.
I never knew that. He's such a big UCLA fan. I guess I thought maybe he went there.
Well, he's from there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he grew up as a childhood fan of Westwood.
All right.
You didn't know he was a UC Davis Aggie?
I never thought about it. I don't think I did. Yeah, and I might have just assumed, like you say, voice of the Hornets. Good for him. He must have gone there.
That's how nice Jay Ross is. No one ever questions the fact that he is the voice of their rival. And been there for 30 years almost.
Yeah. Jay Ross is the Cobra.
Absolutely.
I mean, you see him and he's calm and he's very friendly, but you don't want him to strike. That's all.
Very true.
You just don't want him to strike.
Very true.
Jay, I think this is now Zach LaVine's team, and it didn't take long, in my opinion, for the Kings to get to this point. Seemed like just a week and a half ago, we were having the discussion. Is it DeMar's team? Whose team is it now? I think it's pretty clear, push come to shove, and it's not a one-man team by any stretch, but this is Zach LaVine's team. If they're going to go anywhere, as you said yesterday, he's the one who's got to lead them. Agree?
Yeah, absolutely. He's the star. As much as DeMar DeRozan has been an all-star, you could see it. And I think was Kyle or was it Mark? I can't remember who was on the call, but DeMar had a dunk, and they were like, he had a breakaway, but he went for the layup instead of the dunk. And someone was like, 3 years ago, DeMar would have dunked that. Now he's just laying the rock up. That lets me know he is a star who is solidified in who he is. But Zach is definitely that guy that I think you have to hitch your wagon to lead this team.
Yeah. And tomorrow night's a great example because, he's going to be the focus of Houston's very skilled defensive efforts, right? So that's going to be where they start their defensive efforts, is shutting him down.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely start with talking about the snake, the head of the snake. You start with Zach. DeMar, I'm pretty sure those two are probably getting the scouting reports. And it's tough to defend DeMar. I mean, more or less, what he wants to do. He's pretty good at getting to a spot and where he wants to, shoot the rock. It's just more or less if DeMar's going to have an off game versus an average game versus a great game. Now Zach, you got to scheme for it because those are the guys that, I'm not saying DeMar can't go for 50. We just seen him go for 42, 43 a couple weeks ago. Zach can go for 60 though. Like he's one of those guys that can turn it up on any given night.
Yes, and I hope he does tomorrow, and he certainly could, but it'll be tough against Amen Thompson, who, remember last time they were here, he did a really good job on, I don't know if you remember him, De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
To be here.
You think Thompson sticks Zach tomorrow?
That'd be my guess with Dylan Brooks on DeMar, but
Then hey Malik.
Yeah.
Guess what, fella? Come to the party, come to the party tomorrow. Put up 30 on these boys. And that's the great part of what the Kings have is they have an opportunity, every single night when you really look at their starting five is, anybody's capable for having a big time night. I know Domas doesn't reach for the peaks when it comes to points, but he can get a little crazy sometimes with those stats, 25 and 20 and
he's due for a big scoring night.
Yeah.
He hadn't had one in a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. By the way, Campy says Stretch Bergmeyer would dominate the 11.
Oh, Stretchy B? How does Stretchy B at the moment?
Stretchy B right now?
Yeah.
Stretch is early 40s, I think.
Oh, yeah. Stretchy B is definitely early 40s. He's close.
Yeah.
Someone
he's still stretchy though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Someone from the 916 Vlade had a hook. I forgot about Vlade. I forgot about Vlade. And of course, he was taught the hook from Magic. And you know,
and then who did he teach it to? Is that where it ended? Kareem to Magic to Vlade to
wasn't Brad Miller.
No,
Brad didn't have no hook.
Where did it go? What has happened to the hook shot?
Somebody said the tizzy flip.
Yeah,
pretty much, kind of like Webb. You know, it's kind of
half hook.
Yeah.
Ant does something nobody's done since Big Cuz. Speaking of former Kings, tell you what that was when we come back. It's a Drive, guys, on Sacktown Sports.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you tried online gaming. Who knew 12-year-old boys could be so mean? And where did they learn to swear like that? 2 hours of losing to these underage trash talkers, and you're starting to question if maybe you really should stick to pickleball and other boomer stuff. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Is that a new Samsung Galaxy A15 5G?
Yeah, I got it for free when I joined Cricket Nation.
Sounds pretty great.
At Cricket, anyone can get a new phone when they switch.
Whoa.
With a high-quality camera, meaning more flattering selfies for all, and super fast 5G, so you can post them for all to see. Your friends, your family, your ex. Free phone! Free phone!
Okay, I'll switch.
Welcome to Cricket Nation.
Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. Must bring your number to Cricket on a $60 a month voice plan. First month service charge and tax to its sale. These terms and other restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Miniature golf has been around America since 1916, with the first course opening in Pinehurst, North Carolina, according to Links magazine. Englishman James Barber built a course in his backyard called Lilliputian. A few years later, he built a second course and called it Thistledew. Unlike today's mini golf courses, Thistledew wasn't for children. The 18-hole course was made of compacted sand and clay, making it quite difficult. Today's clown mouths or windmills were nowhere to be found, as the course featured real hazards like rocks, trees, and grass bunkers. 4 holes even required a high-lofted niblick to carry bushes and long grass. Longest hole was 71 feet, shortest was 12. Golf fanatic Thomas McCullough Fairbairn revolutionized the game in 1922 with his formulation of a suitable artificial green consisting of a mixture of cottonseed hulls, sand, oil, and dye. 100 years later, Thistledew has returned to its home at Pinehurst Resort, and guests can play the new Thistledew. Please leave your niblick at home. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
What if your limited inventory had unlimited potential? What if your biggest risk was not taking one? What if you could make every move matter? Bank of America's business solutions can help bring your biggest what-ifs within reach. Find out how our digital tools, cutting-edge insights, and trusted expertise can work for your business. What would you like the power to do? Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank sponsor of FIFA World Cup 2026.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Big weekend, Jay. It's Whitey and Jay here. Academy Awards, Jay. You pretty excited about the Academy Awards this Sunday night?
No, sir.
Yeah, I barely even know any of the movies. And I know it's fashionable every year to say, I haven't seen any of the movies. I barely even know any of the movies. Today, Sheena asked me, we're talking about what we're going to do this weekend. She said, I'd like to see at least one of the movies that's nominated. I was like, okay.
For Best Picture of the Year?
Yeah.
Give me the list.
I don't know it. Isn't there's a Bob Dylan one. That's all I know. with Timothy Chalamet.
I did see the previews of that when it came out.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
And I'm not saying the movies are terrible or anything. I just don't. Well, I think
let's look it up here.
Wicked is nominated for something,
Which
and then
I've
I
heard
think I know somebody who saw it, and then Dune 2 I think is nominated. Didn't see Dune 1, but that other than that, I just don't know.
Yeah, I'm not. Again, I always say this. I'm not the biggest TV person, and when I do watch TV, if it's not sports, it's more or less kind of what's in my wheelhouse. I've always said when it comes to movies, I'm the traditional meathead, so to say. I'm an action guy.
Sure.
I don't really dive into the
you just told me yesterday. Pardon me for interrupting.
No,
but
of course.
You were just telling me yesterday because Jason Statham was on the screen.
Yeah, he's got a new movie or whatever.
Wow.
Whispering Man. And I was like, I get it. People was like, oh, Jason Statham, there's no range. And I said to you yesterday, he pretty much plays the same role in every movie, but I'm with it because I just like to see folks get their ass whooped. So I got no quarrels about that.
Well, one thing the Academy Awards gives us is it gives us an almost
all right. How about
there we
now?
go.
Here you
Yes,
go.
sir.
Here we're back.
Our apologies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technical difficulty.
Gremlins are at us. Speaking of movies, Gremlins.
Love Gremlins.
Did you?
Oh yeah. Love it.
Okay.
You're not a Gremlins guy?
How old were you when that came out? Like 4?
I think I was born. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think so. I remember seeing that.
I think Gremlins came out 81, 82.
I think I saw that at the Coronet on Geary Street or something like that. Yeah.
How about the theater? That a boy.
What I was going to say was, what I was in the process of saying was Academy Awards gives us an almost reasonable excuse, Jay, to talk about one of the most cliche topics in sports radio, which is sports movies. So I just want to ask you, Jay's number one favorite, maybe not the best, but Jay, a baseball guy through and through, what is the Jay Award for best or favorite baseball movie would go to what?
Favorite baseball movie, Major League.
Okay.
Yeah, Major League. Just because of the comedy. And so and one of my things is, and I know people don't agree with this all the time, if the first movie is good enough to create a want for a second movie,
spawn a sequel,
then the first one had to be good. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and argue people, number 4, Back to the Minor Leagues and all these other, or 3 or 4, whichever one it was. But yeah, I probably Major League. This is sentimental. I respect it and I rock with it because it was based on true events. The Rookie. I was about The Rookie.
Is that the one
with Dennis Quaid?
Yeah, Jim Morris.
Yes,
the guy who actually briefly
Tampa.
He lived in Vallejo briefly.
Yes,
in his book. Yeah, he wrote about that.
I'm about The Rookie.
The best scene in that is when he throws, and there's he's by the side of the road where they have the radar gun. So he throws, and the thing blinks and says 70 something, and he turns around and he doesn't see it wink to 90.
Right.
That's a great scene.
Yeah, that is.
It probably never happened, but that's a great scene.
Of course it didn't happen. They wrote that in.
They're like 78.
Come on.
98. Yeah.
Like, can a car speedometer, or a car radar gun pick up a baseball?
Maybe if you threw it just in exactly the right spot, I don't know.
I'm a little big league guy too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a little big league guy. I'm all about that. You got to show Henry Rodengartner some love too.
What's the what movie was Junior in? Was it King Griffey Jr. in a baseball movie?
I think he was in Little Big League.
Okay,
right?
that's what made me think of it. Timothy Busfield from Sacramento told us a story one time. He said the director tells Junior, and I think they're in the Metrodome.
Yes, that was Little Big League.
All right, I want you to hit the ball. See that second deck there, 5th row, 3rd seat. And he says Junior gets up there and he turns on one and happened to break his bat because he hits it on the plate and he hits it in the seats, and the director goes, cut. No, you missed by 3 seats.
Oh, come on, man. Are you serious?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that was Little Big League, man. Where basically he was the grandson of the owner of the Minnesota Twins, course, he passed away, and
Mm-hmm.
he was a great baseball mind, so he jumped in and took over. Rookie of the year is Henry Rowan Gardner, pitched for the Cubs.
Yeah.
Who you got? What's your favorite baseball?
My favorite baseball movie is League of Their Own.
Great one. It's a great one. Yeah,
because it's the only baseball movie that I know of where they actually talk about hitting the cutoff man.
Okay,
because there's that one
Rock for Peaches,
early,
huh? Yeah.
Early in the movie, I forget her name, but Tom Hanks is yelling at her because she missed the cutoff man, and then later it's like, "You hit the cutoff man."
Betty
like, wow.
Spaghetti? Was it Betty Spaghetti? I can't remember who it was. Yeah.
Do these movies even get nominations from you, Jay?
Okay.
Band to the Youngsters, Bull Durham.
No.
Farmer Bleasy's Sandlot.
You know what? Sandlot's overrated, but I respect how people love it. So it's okay. Bull Durham's overrated. It's terrible. It's garbage.
Field of Dreams.
Garbage.
I'm with you on
Field
that.
of Dreams is terrible.
I can't stand that
Slow as I don't know what.
I can't stand it. If it's on TV and I'll think everyone loves this movie, I'm going to give it a shot.
Slow.
30 minutes in, I'm like, I've had enough
night
of this.
Night time.
Yeah.
Same thing with Bull Durham. I get it, trying to show minor leagues, but Kevin Costner is for me, he's a hit and miss guy.
Did you ever see his baseball movie For the Love of the Game?
Yes.
Okay.
Was that for the Tigers?
Yes.
Was he a Tigers pitcher?
Billy Chappell.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
That's whack too.
Banta says he's just listing. He says he's
Okay.
not nominating. It's got Field of Dreams, Babe with John Goodman. So anyway.
Babe was
Yeah. So Jay
Oh,
says
Bingo's All Stars, baby. You know about that?
Bingo Longs Traveling All-Stars. Richard Pryor?
Yes, sir. Come on. I see you working
Was
over
John
there.
Candy in that, baby? As a catcher?
No.
Okay.
No. Not as a catcher. The catcher was James Earl Jones.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
Okay.
James Earl Jones. And then the other one for me, it just slipped my mind. I had one. You got to have Bad News Bears.
Yeah.
If you don't have Bad News Bears in there, you're not a baseball guy.
But Bull Durham, Jason's
Terrible.
Ant, Field of Dreams,
Extra
Ant.
terrible.
Yeah.
One of the
I'm
worst.
with you on that.
Basketball, whack. Yeah, man. There's some terrible movies.
Yeah. So the winner, the J Award for Best Baseball Movie goes to
Major League.
Jay, Ant-Man did something last night that nobody's done since Big Cuz.
Yes, he did.
Anthony Edwards is the first player to receive 16 technical fouls before March since DeMarcus Cousins in 2016-17. For those of you watching on YouTube, this is how you can see it. This is DeMarcus's shoe.
It is.
Yeah. I don't know where the other one is.
Probably at home with
It's probably autographed.
Carmichael Dave. Yeah. I think that one's autographed, right?
I don't think so.
No? Oh, okay.
No, I don't think it is.
Why in the hell does Dave have that protected acrylic display glass?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think somebody found it in a closet and brought it in, and the display glass was just sitting here. Do guys, when they sign shoes, don't they normally sign one?
No, all the shoes that I've gotten, I think more or less they sign two.
Okay.
Or at least all the ones I've gotten. And it may be different because, we got friends in high places sometimes.
Yeah. The weirdest thing is there's a $2 bill that's been sitting here forever.
Okay.
I don't know what that's about.
How about that? Have you ever looked up and saw the $1 bill?
Somebody told me the story, but I forget it.
It's me, Chris Verlade, and Doug Christie.
I thought it had something to do with Doug.
Yeah, we had a bet going on. And it was, I don't remember the bet at the moment, but we stuck it up on the glass and never.
Okay.
I don't remember who won the bet.
That would be if you're seeing Jay, it's kind of to his left, just out of the camera range. But
let's see.
It's just taped to the
Kyle, where's the controller, man?
It's all right. It's just right up there. As you're looking at Jay, it's just to the upper left and it's just off screen.
Yeah, you can't see
just
it. I was
$1
gonna move
bill.
the camera.
Yeah, that is taped.
Kyle
there.
took the controller home. So don't worry about it.
That's been there a long time then, right? That
Oh
$1 bill?
yeah, absolutely. I can't remember what it was about. Maybe if Verlade is listening, I'll shoot him a text. But it was around that time. And
do you know if Verlade heard what Doug Christie said about him yesterday?
Yeah, I did. I made sure he did.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Thank you, Kyle. I made sure he did actually. I literally, as I move over for the $1 bill, I literally said, "Hey, CV, there you go." I can zoom in a little bit. I said, "CV, did
There
you
it
hear
is.
the Doug Christie interview?" And just go listen to the last 5 minutes. And he sends me and Doug a text like, "Oh, okay, I can't be on your coaching staff, huh?" And Chris, I don't know, if you've listened to 1140 long enough, Chris he's got a offensive position that he loves to talk about, which is the triple threat position. I guess one of his coaches taught him the triple threat position in high school.
Yeah.
And so he feels like he's the master of the triple threat
That's
position.
right. That's the first thing. You get the ball. Triple threat, baby.
Yeah.
You can shoot, you can dribble, you can pass.
Yeah, I guess, so DC says not a chance. He texts us, CV, you don't have any chance to even be a part of this coaching staff.
Well, that's too bad.
It is.
Yeah. But here's a deal on Ant. He has been suspended because that's 16 technicals. So the NBA made it official today. He's suspended. He will not play for the Timberwolves tonight when they play Utah. I don't know if Utah's going to play their guys tonight or not. That would be a nice little boost for the Kings if Minnesota were to fall in this game. It is a second game in 2 nights for them. They're on the road, but, we know how Utah is right now. But I'll say this, Chris Finch, coach of the Timberwolves, says of Ant-Man, he's got to be better. He's had too many outbursts.
Yeah, the other part, too, is this will be the makeup game. They came back OKC 20-some-odd down, to still a win. Hey, take that bad loss.
Yeah.
Don't let us, meaning the Kings, be the only ones that take bad losses throughout the season. Hey, we need you to take one too. Minnesota would love to see that loss to Utah.
Yeah, because I know people are keenly aware of this, Jay, but the Kings right now are 10th. They're 1 game behind Minnesota and Dallas. Minnesota's 8th and Dallas is 9th. Kings is 1 game behind them and a game and a half out of 7th and 2 games out of 6th.
Love it.
Got to win some games.
They're
on
right there.
This bloodbath of a road trip.
They're right there. That's why I said, for all the negative, pessimistic Sacramento Kings fans, it's February 28th. Talk to me come April 14th.
Tomorrow's the first day of March.
I know it's quick, man.
Yeah.
You watching the Academy Awards on Sunday?
I'll probably watch some of it.
I will
Especially
say this.
if I watch a movie this week.
And don't take this personally because I got all the love for you. You have to be of the senior citizen level
Maybe so,
to sit down and watch the Academy Awards, right?
Could be. Well, yeah, I'm
Who
guessing.
still watches the Academy Awards, I guess is the question.
It's a good question.
Like you have to be kind of in that.
A lot of people have they have parties for it.
Stop it.
You never heard of that?
Stop.
Yes. I've never been to one, but I've heard of them. Like
an Academy Award party at the house? People are throwing.
Yes.
Are you saying they're like renting out a hall?
It's like the little brother of the Super Bowl party.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Come on.
If you've ever been to one, please. I haven't been to one, but I've heard of these. Don't make me call somebody who I know has been to one.
Yeah, they have an AARP card?
Yeah. When we come back, Steph Curry proves again. I know he's not the most popular guy around here, but he proved last night once again he is about winning. Next on Sacktown Sports.
Live and local.
With everything 49ers.
Intercepted by Fred Warner. Dives for the end zone. Touchdown! San Francisco. Ball Jones went up and caught the ball. Touchdown!
The 49ers play on Sacktown Sports 1140.
At Stockton Honda, we know how to honor a great deal. Like right now, during our President's Day sales event, you can find star-spangled savings on some of our best models. Why not stop in today and see for yourself? Save thousands with low APR financing and great lease rates on over 500 new Hondas at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Don't miss your chance to win tickets to the Sacramento Boat Show and Off-Road Expo March 6th through the 9th at Cal Expo, the largest outdoor recreation show in the market. Just go to SacktownSports.com now for your chance to win.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. It's cold, and American Energy wants you to stay warm and make sure your system's operating safely. Here's the deal. A $49 tune-up inspection, which is regularly $119. That's a full safety and duct inspection. But guess what? If your system's over 10 years old, the tune-up is on them. That's right. It's free. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. And if you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Oh, by the way, breaking news. They're hiring right now. Here's the deal. They'll train you, full benefits, generous incentive-based pay. Just call today for more details at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Not only great deals from American Energy, but possibly a new career for you. Check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Save Mart and McKee Brothers Plumbing and Rooter Incorporated. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper. As the proud sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew, Alsco Uniforms offers certified hygienically clean lab coats, scrubs, bed linens, towels, floor mats, and an array of mops tailored for your healthcare facility. Our services include convenient delivery to your doorstep. Leading the way in healthcare laundry services in Northern California, discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's ALSCO.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-611-5252, 800-611-5252, 800-611-5252.
Oscars watch party. Usually everyone gets a ballot to fill out to guess the winners. Lots of food. There you go, Jay.
Yeah, that's got, again, and I hate to make this a bashing of a certain demographic, but I just don't.
Ageism.
Yeah, I am.
Jay is guilty of ageism.
I'm trying not to be. I got nothing but love, but I just can't see. I can't put it this way. I have a 14-year-old daughter. I don't see anyone 21 and under doing that, right? I don't really see anyone, I guess, and my daughter likes, oh, Dad, you're Gen Z or you're Gen X and Gen Y and all these different. I don't really see anyone at the age of 40 and under doing that unless you're kind of tied to that.
Yeah.
I think it's just an older tradition, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I know, Jay, you and I had a conversation off the air yesterday. You were talking about Friends and how you're not a big Friends fan. And
the show.
Yeah, not people that are Friends. I'm not a huge Friends fan either.
Terrible.
But I think people who are Friends fans are the demographic who watch the Academy Awards.
Agreed.
And I could be wrong.
No, you're right.
Yeah. Now, did you say somebody had something on the?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. And which one was it here?
That'd be Miss Bridget.
All right, Bridget. Join the drive, guys. Hi, Bridget. What's going on?
Hey guys, I'm start out huge King fans. That's why I listened to you.
Thank you.
Hear news about the Kings, but about the watch party for the Oscars. A lot of people, I'm 32, and it's a thing, but it also has a lot. And you're right, there's pools you can get in. Who's going to win? But it also has to do with the kind of movies. The movies this year are very dull. They're very deep. But tell me, if Taylor Swift was in a movie, or if Beyonce was in a movie, your 14-year-old or the younger generation, they would be interested.
So well, you're a younger generation, Bridget. You are the younger generation, so I think you're spot on. How many times have you done it?
My parents do it they don't do it every year. It all has to do with the movies.
Okay.
They're not doing it this year. They're probably going to just watch it and eat something and change the channel and try to find a basketball game. Yeah. But if there's a movie they really like, or there's 3 or 4 movies and there's a competition, everybody goes. It's a big deal. It is.
Let me follow that up for you, Miss Bridget. Can you school me on the movies this year? Who's the favorite? I know you said it's not a real exciting year. Have you been paying attention or no?
Yeah, we actually try to see all the movies that are up for just to see. The Brutalist is pretty cool. It's a little deep. There's some drug scenes in it that were kind of hard to watch.
Okay.
It was kind of hard. Honora is another one. It's good. It's a good one, but again, deep. It's about prostitution and whatnot.
Okay.
So,
any James Bond movies up this year, Bridget? Any James Bond movies up for Best Picture?
No. And if there was, I'd be rooting for them compared to these. So, but I definitely think, the ones those are the 2 that are supposed to win it this year, and they weren't my favorite.
I said, please correct me real fast, Miss Bridget, because you are our insider here for the Academy Awards. Is what's my guy? Adrian Brody? He's the Brutalist, right?
Yeah.
Yes, right?
Brutalist.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
I was trying to okay. Just triple check.
And there's
like
Macaulay, not Macaulay Culkin, the other Culkin brother. He's in a movie. Yeah, and that movie's actually pretty good. It's 2 cousins that go over to Poland. That of all of them is the one that I think is the most watchable. But the others, and I know there's people listening to this that are going to argue and say, no, the Brutalist is great and Honora's amazing, but we'll see.
Gotcha. Thank you, Bridget.
Great game right there, Bridget. Thank you.
We appreciate that.
Hey, go Kings, and go Sabonis. Huge Sabonis fan.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye.
By the way, the person that said they've been to Oscar watch parties responded again and said, I feel personally attacked. We're not attacking anybody.
Yeah.
I'm not. Jay is on the attack. I don't know why.
Am I? I didn't know I was on the attack.
I'm just trying to use you as a human
shield.
You. So I'm not, but Jay.
That's fine. Here we go. Top nominated films. We have The Brutalist.
Yeah.
Wicked, which you talked about. Conclave.
Okay.
Which isn't it about like the church, I believe?
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah, I thought.
Is that the one with about the? No, I'm probably wrong. Go ahead.
I'm triple checking to make sure, but let's see. We have Wicked, A Complete Unknown. A Complete Unknown. Wow. Emily Perez?
Yeah, Conclave is a political thriller.
Is it?
Yeah, and it's about a guy it's about Ray Fiennes. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought it was.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that's the one we'll see. We can only see one.
I thought it was about the cardinal and stuff, like the Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic. Okay.
You're on the money.
Yeah.
And by the way, my apologies. We were talking baseball movies, and you said Bingo Long's Traveling All-Stars, and I said something about John Candy. John Candy was in a different baseball movie with Richard Pryor, which was Brewster's Millions.
Yeah.
So that was my mistake.
Yes, sir. No worries. Come on, man. That's what we're here to do. We're here to cultivate, enlighten, and also be upfront and honest. We don't know every single thing.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know what the Academy Awards are.
Let's see what AC knows. AC's been on hold. AC, what's up? Thanks for hanging.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking my call. This is my first time calling your show, and I was referred by one of my buddies. Can I give a shout out to him?
Sure.
Robert Cox, who gave me the station's phone number. But I'm going to talk about the Kings for a moment. So you have to help me out here. Where can I go and listen to the show? He gave me the number, but didn't tell me where to listen to the show.
I'm sorry.
This show?
This show?
Yeah.
Yes, this show. Yes.
Sac Sports 1140.
Yeah.
SacSports1140.com.
Right.
Or you can go to YouTube and Google Sac Sports 1140 as well.
What about iHeart? Are you guys available on the iHeart?
No, that's a different app.
That's
different company.
Yeah. We'll, yeah.
Got it.
Thank you, AC.
Let me ask you a question.
All right.
No problem. Let me ask you
Go ahead.
let me ask you a question about the Sacramento Kings. So let's assume Sacramento Kings, they get into the playoffs. How far, in your opinion, they'll advance in the playoffs, and who they can compete against? And let me say this: if I continue to call your show, trust me, I'll be one of your top callers. Love you.
Thank you, AC. That's a bold statement right there.
Ooh-wee.
I will be one of your top callers.
Quietly.
After an opening call that, frankly, wasn't all that?
Since we're talking about the Academy Awards, let's take some straw polls. Right?
I appreciate you listening. Really do. But that's like going to camp, and you're like, you got an inter squad game, and you're like,
Right.
0 for 4 with 3 punchies. Like, Skip, I'm going to be your best player. I'm going to be your starting shortstop.
Looking for the golden sombrero. I'll say this. Shouts out to AC.
Yes.
No doubt. Quietly, I've been
And
working.
Robert Cox, his friend.
Yes, and shouts out to RC.
Yeah.
I've been quietly working behind the scenes on getting our all-star fan competition. So I'm just about ready. And also, I believe on Monday we'll be able to drop one of our other surprises for the show. With the Kings.
All right.
Just think about the Kings, and it might not be the Kings you're thinking about. So
Okay,
we'll be able to put that out there as well. We talked about that on the show. So tune in 2 o'clock Monday.
That's interesting because, you and I talked about that last week, and
Yes.
I haven't said anything, but I've had it percolating.
Hey, listen.
It's been percolating.
The pot is in the back on the back stove.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
It's in the second kitchen in the back house.
Yes.
Right now. You're in the front. You're in the house that's on the curb. I'm in the back house.
All right, we'll get to Steph Curry. We did all that because we wanted to put off talking about what a big night Steph Curry had. But there's one thing about Steph to me that is more impressive than all the numbers, or at least almost as impressive. And we'll have that for you next year as we roll on Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures, until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive, so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Things are just better when you switch to Cricket. The sun shines a little brighter. Happy music starts randomly playing. Best of all, you can get iPhone 13 for just $29.99 with the ultra bright Super Retina display and up to 19 hours of video playback, all on Cricket's super fast 5G network. See, isn't that better? Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new account imported on $60 plan. First service charge taxed with sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery. One of the most common questions I receive is what makes us different from other law firms. At Gingery, Hammer & Associates, we handle your case from beginning to end. Whether your case reaches a settlement, whether we need to file suit, or even take it all the way to trial, we will be with you along the entire way. And because we are committed to you and your case, we are as invested as you are in making sure you get the outcome you deserve. If you have an injury, just call Gingery.
Sacktown Sports is bringing you the biggest live events in town. Whether you're rocking out or dancing the night away, check out the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. Crank it up with Steel Panther at Ace of Spades on March 15th. Then catch rising country star Alexandra Kay the next night, March 16th, also at Ace of Spades. On March 22nd, experience the magic of the Ronstadt Review featuring Jasenia at the Crest Theater. Then get ready for an epic night. Papa Roach and Rise Against take over Golden One Center March 29th, while comedy legends Jay Leno and Arsenio Hall bring the laughs to Hard Rock Live Sacramento on that same night. And for country fans, Lee Bryce and Walker Hayes hit Ironstone Amphitheater on June 21st, and Parker McCullum takes the stage August 16th at the Ironstone Amphitheater up in Murphys, California. Don't miss out. Find more info and score your chance to win tickets at SacktownSports.com. The Sacktown Sports live events calendar. Your ticket to the best seat in the house.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Bajemski slicing through the lane, lost the handle. Curry to beat the buzzer for three. Good! Steph's got 12 threes.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Just about an hour from now, Jerry Reynolds joins us, and bottom of this hour, Zach Bayruti, voice of the River Cats. Had the occasion to hang out with Zach a little bit last Saturday on Emron's show. Quite a guy, quite a broadcaster, quite a guy, Jay. So looking forward to that.
I got all the love for Zach. The only thing I'm going to have to talk to him about is at what point in time do you plan on jumping over to the real team and not the fake team? You know, we'll have that conversation.
Yeah. Well, it's funny how that works because he's with the River Cats.
Yep.
Who are
Giants
owned by the
affiliation.
Kings,
right,
who are also kind of owners of the A's. So he kind of seriously.
Yeah, I see where you're going.
Yeah, because we were talking to him last week and he said, I'm an employee of the Kings. And I was like, well, yeah, you start to connect the dots. So in a way, I don't know how they make those distinctions, but he may already in a way be working for the A's. I don't know, Jay. It's convoluted, but I get your point.
I get absolutely. On the surface.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that check is getting cleared with Uncle V's name on it.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the Kings own the Kings ownership owns the River Cats. So yeah.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to the Sacramento Bee today. Opinion writer there. I think his name is LeBron Hill. He did an opinion piece on why aren't they calling themselves Sacramento? What's up with that? What the A's are insulting all of us. So we'll get to that. By the way, how about this in the Chateau? Another, by the way, for you. Troy Perry. Jay, you see this? Guys, I'm a huge sports fan and a huge Oscars fan. I'll be watching the Kings on Saturday night and hosting an Oscar party on Sunday night. I'm telling you, it's a thing.
Well, one of the things I caught my ear was Miss Bridget, and thank you for the lovely Bridget calling in and giving us some game. What did she say? And this is what I'm saying. I'm trying to get an understanding on the demographic of who does that. I'm not going to ask Troy Perry his age because that doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. But I found it very interesting that Miss Bridget said her parents give the party compared to Miss Bridget. Like, oh, yeah, come on over.
Why are you so hung up on that, man?
Because I just think demographics make a difference. It does, right?
Yeah, I'm kidding.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think it makes a difference in the form of Academy Award. Like, I don't really believe, and this is someone who's walked carpets. You're speaking to someone who's walked carpets and done interviews and things like that. I don't even my time on the carpets. I feel like when I look around at those times when I was down in LA, I felt like I was always the youngest one.
Mm-hmm.
And I always felt as if I was a small percentage of what was going on those carpets. And so I find it very interesting. I've never been invited over for an Oscar party or a Grammy party or an Academy Award, I've never been invited to none of those things, though I've heard of certain, parties like that.
Yeah. Cause you'd be no fun. You'd be like, these movies are terrible.
You're right. You're absolutely, you're right. You're 100% right.
Why would anybody invite you?
Why the hell are you coming? Yeah, you ain't watching the movie anyway. You're right. I hadn't thought about that. You're spot on.
Yeah. I know they're out there, but I've never been invited to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Steph Curry had a big night last night. I know we don't necessarily really want to talk about Steph Curry in these parts, but let's face it, we're fortunate we get to watch him play basketball as much as we do. He had such a big night last night. At one point this morning, Sheena had Today Show on, and she said, "Oh, they're going to show Steph on the Today Show." That's how big it was, Jay. Crossing over into pop culture a little bit. Steph Curry with 56 last night in the win over Orlando on 12 3-pointers. But what you just played there with the great Bob Fitzgerald, friend of the show, he wasn't. The last time I called him, he didn't want to come on. But other than that, friend of the show.
No love for you?
I don't know. I've known him a long time.
Nah, if I hit him, I bet you come on.
Okay.
No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
55-footer. And there are a lot of guys, you know this as well as I do, a lot of guys in the NBA will not take that shot. You'll see guys at the end of a quarter, end of a half, and they'll have the ball, 55 feet out, wait for the buzzer to sound, and then let it fly. Oh, because they don't want to miss that shot and how it affect their field goal percentage. Man. It's a thing.
Yeah, really?
It is. It is.
Thinking that hard about it.
Draymond Green says Steph hates this, so nobody on our team does this. But you'll see guys hold the ball until the buzzer goes, and then they shoot it. We're not allowed to do that. You better tell Buddy Hield. You're trying to save a percentage for what? It's about winning the game. And I've seen a lot of guys do that. A lot of guys for a long time across the league. Steph Curry, though, is second in the NBA in heaves, and that is those attempts. And, he works on them, and he can make them.
Yeah.
And he's second. He's way behind number one, though, and that's Jokic. Jokic is another guy. He puts up numbers, but he doesn't care that much about his numbers. So he's going to throw one, and we've, unfortunately seen it. Sometimes it goes in. He'll take an attempt from 75 feet because it helps his team if it goes in, whereas a lot of guys are like, I just got it off too late.
Well, that's
a mark of a guy who wants to win.
Yeah, but I can see the opposite side of it because you got all these analytical guys out here who break down every single number and don't really pay attention and watch the game. You're looking at black and white, the stats, and this is one of the reasons I think Draper always talks about it. Stop looking at the box score,
right? Because
the box score is not going to tell you every single part, every single piece of the game. It's not going to tell the story of the game, and so I'm with Steph, but you have some of these people and. A lot of those people are now in front offices, and they're not watching the game as much as compared to looking at stats. And so,
right.
I'm with Steph. Go do it all. Do everything you possibly can to win a game.
Right.
And if you get lucky, just like he did last night, it's all for the good.
Yeah. Danny Ainge was another guy. He would take those shots.
Really?
He didn't care. Yeah. And I remember it stood out even then because I get it, but it's not so much that a guy's a bad person if he won't do it, but the guys that do it, I think we should respect that because that's a guy that's like, this ain't gonna look good on my stat sheet, but I want to win the game. So isn't that what we want our players thinking about? I think we'd be surprised if we knew how conscious players are of their stats. I just saw last week there was Kevin Durant was playing, and there's Kevin Durant. They show him on the bench, and he's got his box score right there, and he's looking at it. And I've heard stories of guys, and like if you get traded for somebody and guy wants to see the stat sheet, how am I doing compared to that guy? It's human nature.
Yeah, it is. I've heard people do the same thing.
Yeah.
At one point in time when I was working for the Clippers, I won't say the player's name. He was all about it, but I also understood it because he was in a contract year.
Yeah.
He was looking for the bag to secure for his family and his children and mother and things like that. So there are some underlying issues that I think cause players to want to know their stats. And like you said, it is human nature. But I will say I'm all for the Steph Curry, heaving at the end. I like it. It's entertaining as a fan to watch it. It's exciting. And every now and then one goes in.
Yeah. And his was, I think, at the end of the first half and started them on their way to a comeback.
Yeah,
they came back.
Kicked around.
Yeah. And he had, so again, 12 threes, and the record is 14 by Clay. And after the game, Steph did say, yeah, Clay still got me on that one. Someday somebody's going to make a ton of threes. Someone's going to make like 20 or more threes in a game. Not anytime soon, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree
just
with
heading that way.
Yeah, I think someone is going to hit 23s in a game one day.
That's 60 points right there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But they're getting them up at a high clip, at a high rate. And, we had Coach Doug Christie on talk about it. And he's like, 50, but I mean 40. But in reality, if you get 50 up in the game, all it takes is for one guy to get 25 or 30 of them up. One person, one player can get 30 up.
Let me ask you this. I'm sure this would be something we'd bang around if Drapes was here. By the way, somebody says if Draper was at a Academy Award party, he would eat all the food and try to control the remote control. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't think Drake's
I'm not saying he would do that.
Yeah.
Come on, EB. Anyway, Steph Curry, is he in your top 10 of all time?
Yes.
Anywhere near it?
Yeah.
Good for you.
He was in before the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm also cognizant of the fact that eras make a difference. You know, to bring back the same example, I didn't get to see Pistol Pete, and I'm not saying he's a top 10 guy, but there are folklores about Pistol Pete and how great he was,
Legends,
the ball handler, legends, you know, and even the legendary Jerry Reynolds said he was before his time, you know, so he didn't get the love. And then the other part of that too is we put everything under the microscope now, you know, with social network, we have technology that they didn't have 50 years ago. We get to VORP. We're putting VORP out there,
Sure,
you know,
I'm a
so
VORP guy.
yeah, I think that me too. I'm a VORP guy. Tell me, remind me again what it stands for.
Value
over
replacement player.
Okay. All right. Yeah. VORP. That's
Yeah.
me, baby.
Yeah.
Who and Domas was what, 4th, 2nd, 3rd?
He was up there.
Yeah.
I have to
think
double check.
one of those.
Yeah.
But I just
Good
think,
VORP.
yeah, he's got great VORP.
That's his nickname, VORP.
I believe if we had this type of technology 40 years ago, 50 years, 60 years ago, some of the people that we consider great probably wouldn't be. And then vice versa. You know, we talk about 3-pointers not being a part of the game. We also talk about ABA versus NBA. You know, there's so many different qualifications that we can bring to the table. But I say all that to say this. I think Steph is a top 10 guy before the season. I think depending on what they do after the season, for me, the 4th championship solidified it. He's definitely going down as the greatest shooter to ever played, probably will ever see in our lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's scary, just the thought of what if someone's a better shooter than Steph?
Good luck, man.
Yeah.
And the other part too is I always give people, and I know you aren't the biggest, and these two always come to my mind. I know you aren't the biggest fan of Carmelo, but you respect what he does. When you change the game, meaning culturally, when you change the game and you have fans amongst NBA players and NBA ranks, to me, that's a different value that I just have to give you a little more love.
Speaks to your impact.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
and so Steph changed the game literally, like literally. We not only the way everybody plays basketball, but the fact that the NBA has tried to copy what he's done.
When we come back, could the Kings miss the playoffs and still have to give up their 1st-round pick this year? It's complicated. We'll look at that when we come back. Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports.
Lowe's knows that your business is built on speed and trust. That's why the Lowe's Pro Desk is here to get you what you need the moment you need it. We'll help you plan your project, calculate your materials, and pivot when your job takes an unexpected turn. And with our pro-only checkout and dedicated pro parking, you have what you need to tackle your job and be back on the job in no time. Just visit us at the Pro Desk. Lowe's knows pros. We help. You save.
Progressive presents Renters MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Joe Fallon's bedroom mini fridge. Sure, this pint-sized chiller's max capacity is 3 soda cans, but what it lacks in stature, it makes up in cooling strength. Each beverage a perfect 37 degrees every time. And the 2 feet Joe walks to get a drink, priceless. That's why his mini fridge is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Everyone has a past, but what happens if you've made mistakes and made good on that past, but it keeps following you? Are you looking for an attorney to erase past records and restore your rights? Maybe even restore your gun rights? Do you need a reputable criminal defense attorney who knows even good people make bad mistakes? Well, the attorneys at Gonzalez Law Office are here to help. Find Gonzalez Law Office online at saclegaldefense.com or call them at 916-304-9187. We don't settle for less, and neither should you.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Take a look at the Kings and their 1st-round pick and how they might end up keeping it, how they couldn't end up giving it up even if they don't make the playoffs. Before we get to that, I have to address this here in the chat from JD209, and thanks for listening, JD209. And I'm with Jay on this, but he's coming after you,
okay.
Jay, but I stand with you. JD209 says, we're just talking about Steph as a top 10 player. Jay, you dang fool, bro. Steph is a number one shooter of all time. He is not a top 10 player of all time.
Okay.
He says, you're tripping, bro. Steph got 4 rings and 1 finals MVP. That's not what the greats do. Banta asks him, it's not. And he says, you got to be the best player on your own team, homie. But what about when the Lakers had Kareem and Magic? Those are 2 top 10 guys, right? I mean, maybe Magic's not in your top 10. He might be.
He should be.
What about Shaq and Kobe? You can be on a team with a great player and still be an all-time top 10 guy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but yeah, KD was better than Steph those years they played together. But I mean, there's nobody who's impacted the game the way Steph has, to your point.
Yeah, I understand. Who you say that's JD from the 209? From the 209. Shouts out to the 209. I can dig it. I just think everything that Steph has brought to the game, everything that not only has he won, but also he's been, and you got to give him a little love on this. And this doesn't mean, you can't equate this to being the best in basketball, but he is, his reputation is pretty clean, and that's on and off the court. I think when you're talking about an impactful player and an impactful role, he checks that box. I also think he's one of the best ball handlers in the game. We know he's the greatest shooter. I think a lot of times people haven't really paid attention to his toughness. One of the things about Steph is there's always seems to be like a nick, ankle, knee, elbow, hand, finger. There's always something going on. And he may sit out for a couple weeks, but he always bounces back. And I think his toughness is something that, has never been, he doesn't receive the recognition when it comes to his toughness. And then the last part for me when it comes to Steph is, if you have the opportunity, and Whitey, I know we do, and sometimes people have the opportunity to go, or for whatever reason, you stand next to you might be at the airport and see a basketball player. But I'll be the first one to say, Whitey, man, when you're around some of them tall trees, some of those physical specimens that the NBA have, and you walk up to Steph and you're just like, man, this dude is me.
Yeah.
I am him. He is me.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look over and you see Jonas Valanciunas and you're like, dude, there should be no reason a grown-ass man is the size of this. Dude, that's incredible.
Yeah.
What he's done on the floor.
Yeah, and you look at the pictures of him when he was in college, and he looked like he's
real thin.
13 or something.
Yeah, come on, hula hooping.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, come on, big time.
Yeah, and he figured out how to not just compete, which in and of itself would have been an accomplishment, but how to be an all-time great player.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's constantly moving. I was talking to Kerr once, and I asked him about, is Looney? Because Looney had rebuilt himself physically. And I asked, is Looney, the best conditioned player on the team? And he said, Steph Curry's the best conditioned player in the whole league because he's just constantly going. He said, Steph Curry's in better shape than anybody in the whole league. So, yeah. And then last night, I don't know how many highlights you saw, but he had guys they were on skates,
man,
and the Orlando Magic. And I'm leaning and backing up and getting whatever shot he wanted. He shot 19 threes last night. Man. Against a team that, after like 12, that, boy, we got to run them off the line. And they couldn't.
No, I mean, the thing about it is he has set the standard of how far you can take a shot from.
Yep.
And a coach be comfortable with it.
You're right. That's a great point. Yeah.
Dude, he's shooting from astronomical spaces.
Right. When he shoots a logo three, it's like, that's a pretty good shot for him.
Have you seen a Court of Gold yet?
No.
Okay. So I won't spoil it. You got to go see it. Mm-hmm. And there's a point in time, and just following the Olympics in the beginning, Steph really didn't show up. He was along for the ride and enjoying the ride. And then the last couple of games, he put the foot on the gas pedal. And of course, we know the shot against France at the end, where it's just like, okay, this is sick. Yeah. This is sickening. You got to watch it and just hear some of the things he says, and it's just like, damn, man, how did you? And and Nicholas Batum talks about it too. and I'll let you hear what he says. But it's amazing what he's done on the floor compared to, and I understand stature and size doesn't mean it stuff to like JD the 209. And, JD sound like he more of a winner. Hey, show me what can win. Then he's a Robert Horry fan. I guess he's rocking with Robert Horry because he got a bunch of rings. But I just think Steph has recalibrated some of the NBA play and how we watch the NBA right now. And you got to give him love for that.
Yeah. And he's an absolutely all-time fierce competitor.
Oh, man.
And I don't think he gets enough credit for that. Anyway, looking at the lottery here, best case, worst case scenario for the Kings. Obviously, the Kings want to get into the playoffs. If you're in the playoffs, you're not in the lottery. I'm just trying to look at here what happens with that Kings first round.
Bringing up negative stuff, Whiten.
Well, no, it's just a factor we're trying to figure out, or I'm trying to figure out. Do they keep that pick or not? It's top 12 protected. It goes to Atlanta otherwise. So is it possible that the Kings could lose the pick and still miss the playoffs? That's possible. But my point here is we won't know for sure. If the Kings hit in the playoffs, then they're not in the lottery, so the pick conveys. But once the season ends, if they miss the playoffs, we have to wait for the lottery, because in theory, you could end up winning the lottery, and it's a very slim chance. But even if the Kings are sitting there at like 14 or something, in which case the pick would convey, you have to wait for the lottery, because if they win the lottery, whoop, they go all the way up to 1, and then the pick would be protected. So there is a chance that they hang on to that pick. But, as Drapes was saying a couple days ago, it's probably best, big picture, if they convey that pick. Atlanta takes it, then you're done, because the last couple of years, like, they got to keep the pick last year, but now you're on hold because the assets that would have to move in that deal, you can't trade them. At some point, that number one, after one more year next year, if it didn't convey, it would become a couple twos. So you can't trade those twos because you might have to trade them to Atlanta. And you can't trade that pick because you might have to trade it to Atlanta. So at least it would open up some things. That's a kind of complicated way of saying they're probably going to lose the pick, and it's probably a good thing, but you never know with the lottery.
Yeah, get that out of here. Please take the pick, get it out the way so you know what you have.
Then you're finished.
Yes, exactly. Let's cut ties from the Atlanta Hawks. I no longer want to be compared. I no longer want to be associated. I no longer want to even be in the same car with the Atlanta Hawks right now. So you go ahead and let that shake. Because now, and this is the worst part of it all, is the asset that you got back is no longer with you.
Right. He's coming, though, when the Bulls come to town, but no one's excited about it.
Ain't nobody. Is he going to get a tribute video, too?
He should. Honestly, don't you think he should?
No.
He was.
Why? Because he's part of the Beam team?
Yes.
Oh.
He was here a long time.
Isn't
it kind of just you almost have
a long time?
Well, 3 years, 2.5
Come on, Whitey. We're not giving these participation ribbons out, man.
Anybody who played a lot on the team that broke the playoff drought, to me, deserves
a tribute video.
A tribute video. Yeah.
I'll leave that alone.
No, I would love to know what you think and see how if people agree with you or not.
I think he's.
You didn't do enough?
No, far from. Thank you. Let's leave it there. Yeah, he didn't do enough.
It's okay. It's a valid point. I don't agree with you, but I don't think you need to be worried about saying it.
Because I'm about to say some things, and people are gonna be like, "Oh man, he for a short while, he was lightning in the bottle."
Yeah, an excellent year.
Yes, and then after that bottle was broken, shattered, swept up, put in the trash, and sent over to the compactor. And so I just don't know. And if that's the case, then we need to go ahead and get anybody who had a good year for the Sacramento Kings a tribute video. No. And I understand the special reasoning is because he was part of the team that broke the
That's
drought.
what I would say.
Yeah, but you don't deserve no damn video. Nah, man. And if that's the case, let me go down and look and see who was the two-way player on that year, and maybe they should get a tribute video too.
No, I said anybody who played a lot on that team.
Maybe they did. Maybe
they were winning. I don't think should get a
TD can't get a tribute video.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna text TD and say you're not in this party.
But Red Velvet should.
Man, stop it.
Beam team. That was Sacramento history.
Yeah,
well, I'm sure we'll revisit that.
Unfortunately, it was because they broke a streak that we all didn't want to be associated with.
But you don't break that streak without him.
I don't know.
I don't know. 40% shooting.
I don't know.
He was a big contributor that year.
That year, yes.
Yeah. All right. 339-1140.
Participation ribbon? That's not you, Whitey.
He didn't just participate. He helped them win. He helped them win the division.
So you want, like kindergarten, you want to pin a ribbon to his chest.
Tribute video. Welcome back. Thanks for everything. Yeah, they should have a tribute video of all the times reporters said over the years, the package that they want to trade includes Kevin Huerter. There are a number of players that want to trade, and their package includes Kevin Huerter.
I think,
right?
Put it this way. I think if you have a, you could have some type of short ceremony in between time.
Terrence Davis did more than Kevin. I'm sorry. He did not. But go ahead, Jay. He did
Maybe
not.
in between like a 30-second timeout.
Okay.
Like when somebody goes on a run, 30-second timeout, and you'd be like, back in the building.
Yeah.
Kevin Huerter.
Right.
Okay, Red Velvet, and then let him stand up. Like, I'll give you that for sure. But a tribute video where we got to sit down,
it's a shorter
we got
one.
people pull out their phone. Oh, my Lord, it's Kevin. Like, nah, I don't know about that.
You don't even want to do one for De'Aaron Fox.
I say not this year because it's too much smoke in the city right now, Whitey.
Mm-hmm. You're just going to make things worse if you don't do a tribute video.
Okay.
Zach Bayrudi's going to join us with a Sutter Health ballpark update. How's it looking with the A's coming in? That's next on Sacktown Sports.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? Sunpoint Public Adjusters can help. Sunpoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call Sunpoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. Sunpoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Don't miss your chance to win tickets to the Sacramento Boat Show and Off-Road Expo March 6th through the 9th at Cal Expo, the largest outdoor recreation show in the market. Just go to sacktownsports.com now for your chance to win.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPfest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Save Mart and McKee Brothers Plumbing and Rooter Incorporated. Find out more at CITPfest.com.
Well, it was right after Christmas when our heater collapsed with a heavy and we needed a new heater in the worst way because it's warming up now, but it was very cold then. So many HVAC companies out there. How to choose. A friend recommended we check out Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating at leesair.com, and I'm glad I listened because Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating was ready to come out the day we called. They treated us with respect from the person who answered the phone to the guys who installed our new HVAC unit, and it's an incredible unit. Why choose Lee's? Well, because they offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee. They get 4.8 stars on Google. They've got a lot of friends recommending them. They won awards with their service, and they've spent more than 40 years serving the Valley's HVAC heating and plumbing needs. You can trust Lee's with installation and repair of your AC, furnace, and water heater, plus residential and commercial plumbing repair and commercial HVAC services, too. Find out more at leesair.com. Check out their mission statement, which is all about serving customers and community, and check on their $99 HVAC tune-up service. Let Lee's take care of you the way they took care of us, treating us like family while setting us up with an HVAC system that has improved our quality of life. Lee's Air, Plumbing, and Heating. License number 635355.
High voltage live boxing action returns to the venue on March 8th as Uppercut Promotions presents Thunder Showdown 2. With 8 big fights, it's a night of great boxing action you won't want to miss. Thunder Showdown 2, coming March 8th to the venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resorts. Fight card subject to change.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Jay's been getting into the Wayback Machine that we normally have for the quiz at the end of the show, and he's been going back bringing some music back.
Yeah, man, I'm in the craze today. I'm not on my Serato. I'm actually back on the real turntables today. I'm with a throwback.
Is this Jefferson's Starship?
Starship, yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Starship. All right. Nice enough to join us now. You know, he was with the Stockton Forts for a while. He was with the Reno Aces, and now he's a voice of the River Cats as well as the voice of Pacific basketball. I just met him last weekend. Wonderful guy. Appreciate his time. Zach Bayruti. How are you today, Zach?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, fellas. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I'm going to ask you probably some of the things that we talked about on Saturday, Zach, because sure. I still think there's a number of people still trying to figure some of this stuff out. First of all, how is the ballpark looking with all the upgrades?
It's looking awesome. And that's just the field. They haven't gotten into the video boards yet. The clubhouse, the two-story major league clubhouse they're building along the left field line or down the left field line in the corner. It's pretty much close to done. The press box has brand new windows, which I'm stoked about. They're like accordion windows. The first time they've replaced the windows since the ballpark was built back in 2000. So, living in the press box as I do, any little upgrade there goes a long way for me. And then, they put the grass in last week, and that was just the pièce de résistance. After coming to the ballpark and seeing it look like a construction zone for the last 5 months or so, seeing the grass on the field, which is like the best grass you could possibly put on there because they need it to last. It was pretty special.
Zach, one of the questions that I've had and I've been asking a few people, and last time I was over there, I think it was around maybe August, September-ish or something like that. The left field, as you talked about, the left field line, that grass patch is completely gone as they're putting that the clubhouse. What are they going to do, to the best of your knowledge, in right center, the grass area? Are they keeping that?
You mean like the berm?
The berm, baby. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, that's gonna be seating, and I believe, I don't want to speak out of turn, I believe for A's games that's going to be sold day of game. I think that's how they're going to do it. You might want to double check that, but okay. I think that's how they're going to do it. But they've removed some trees from that grass area just to make it a little more, give it a little more room out there, because there is going to be that high demand. But they're keeping that berm, which, for me, I've been in baseball, and it's going to be my 21st year in baseball. Like, to have that kind of an intimate grass berm at a major league game is really unique, and it's going to be really special for Sacramento.
That's Zach Bayruti, voice of the River Cats. And I know, again, Zach, I know we touched on this on Emron's show on Saturday, but you mentioned just a moment ago the grass and how important it is for this to be a very durable grass because of the wear and tear that it's going to be subject to. Will this be the first time a AAA team and a major league team have shared a field through a season, as best as we can tell?
Yeah. And we had talked about it on Saturday. Yeah. The pandemic season, the Blue Jays played in Buffalo, but if you recall, the Bisons weren't playing. So, we didn't have a minor league season. So it was basically just the Blue Jays on that field, and they made all the same type of upgrades that they're making right now to Sutter Health Park. So I think, to the best of my knowledge, is the first time this is going to happen. It's very, very unique, and again, it's going to be really special.
Zach, what's the buzz around the inside, the front office people, the cats with the deets like yourself, the play-by-plays, people like yourself? What's the buzz in the air about the A's sharing the ballpark with the River Cats?
Oh, it's buzzing.
Yeah. Those ticket prices are buzzing.
No shortage of buzz. It's popping. And guys, we actually had an event the other night, and I was there, and I spoke at it at Urban Roots Barbecue, and we had to turn people away. There were people that were interested in buying actually River Cats premium tickets.
Wow.
And that was, I mean, that event was really popping, and they were excited about, I mean, these are River Cats people, right? People coming to buy River Cats tickets, obviously excited about the big upgrades that the ballpark's going to get for River Cats games. But I wanted to hammer home the point to them, like, the River Cats are actually going to be a really good team this year. And for any Giants fan in the area, it could be a team to remember. You're going to have some high level prospects, the likes of Bryce Eldridge, who's going to be, you know, hopefully the next big thing for the Giants, and not to mention Luis Matos and Marco Luciano and those caliber players. It's going to be pretty cool. And you have the A's, but I think the hidden gem in all of this is you're going to have a pretty special River Cats team that might be the future of the San Francisco Giants. And it's going to be the place to be this year if you're on the Major League side or the AAA side.
Zach Beirudi with us. Zach, tell us more about Bryce Eldridge. What has really stood out about him so far based on, I know you haven't seen a ton of him, but you have got to see him.
Mm-hmm.
What has stood out?
Yeah, he joined us last year for the last week of the season, and he had played in AA, and you know he had climbed the chain all year, you know, after he was drafted. And the Giants, that's a taxing year, and the Giants basically gave him the option, hey, do you want to shut it down after the AA season ends, or we could send you to Sacramento because the AAA season's a little bit longer, and you can, you know, dip your toes into AAA. And he was like, send me to AAA, which just speaks highly of the kid, right? I mean, he wanted to come get extra work and see what AAA was all about. And we were in Texas and then had a homestand, so he had to, you know, travel, which wasn't easy travel by our standards. And he came to join us when we were in Round Rock, and I had talked about this on Saturday. He walked into the hotel, and it was after a game late at night, and I was there with our manager, Dave Brundage, and I was like, is that one of our guys? And he's like, oh, yeah, it's the kid. And I'm like, the kid's 6'7" with a full beard. Like, this is ridiculous. And he looks older than me. And I'm a man. I'm 40, you know? So the thing that's most striking about him is his physical appearance, but then you see him swing the bat, and I think people have seen that clip that's been out there. He had a 450-foot home run straightaway center field in spring training just a few days ago, and he has that type of power. The first bit of contact I saw him make, he fouled the ball off to the left side, and I was like, whoa. I mean, the ball just kind of jumped off his bat, and I know it's a baseball cliche, but it really is true. Like, it sounded different, and I think just the mechanics with him being 6'7" and having those long levers, it leads to just a tremendous amount of natural power and pop. So, I mean, just kind of a genetic freak of nature for one. And then, you know, the makeup is something that's pretty special also, you know, given the fact he wanted to come work harder at the end of a rugged season.
Joined by Zach Beirudi, the voice of the River Cats, and of course, UOP basketball. Zach, as much as I hate to ask this because I just, you know, can't stand Giants fans and giving them all the, you know, giving them any type of love or any type of information about the ball club. You've been around baseball for a while. What's your outlook on the terrible Giants this upcoming season?
Well, I don't think they're going to be so terrible. I'll tell you that. You know, the regime change is going to be really. It's going to make for a really interesting season, both at the Major League level and the AAA level. And at the AAA level, from a standpoint of, you know, is Buster going to allow the guys to stay at AAA for a little while? I mean, a guy like Bryce Eldridge, for example, that's a great example. I mean, if he tears it up his first couple weeks in April, is Buster going to say, you know, let's bring the kid up, or is he going to say, you know what, let's let the kid go through at least a half season and let the league adjust? Because, you know, people these days, maybe in the last 5-10 years, they kind of poo-poo the development at the AAA level, but there is plenty of development to be had. I mean, as a young hitter, a guy like Bryce Eldridge, you're facing pitchers that have been all over the world and competed at the highest levels. So you can't tell me that they're not going to adjust, you know, the second time they see you, especially the third time they see you. And I think that's a level of development that, especially over the last couple of years, has been lacking for the Giants. You know, I think, just my opinion, I think Marco Luciano would have been best served probably to stay a little bit longer at first. I mean, he got to Sacramento and boom, he was up, and the same with Matos. Like, that's not a slight on them, but they could have had some real development take place had they been allowed to stay in AAA longer and experience it.
Mm-hmm. Zach Beirudi's with us. Based on what you've seen, Zach, which young A's players stand out to you the most? Or if you had to pick one, like, keep an eye on this guy, which one would you point to?
I mean, Lawrence Butler's making all the noise right now, and it's really it's hard to not give that name. I mean, the first guy that I saw of the real prodigy type ace prospects was Zach Geloff. He was, it was my first year in AAA was with Reno, and he was in Stockton. It was his first year in affiliated ball, talking about Geloff. And they gave him a cup of coffee in AAA. He was up there to fill a roster spot, and I think he hit like 429 over the three games that he played against us. And I was like, who the hell is this kid? and sure enough, he's up there and he's making the same kind of noise at the big league level, and he's going to be really special. So I think those two guys, and I mean, Mason Miller's already arrived, obviously, but Lawrence Butler and Zach Geloff for me are going to anchor that lineup.
Zach, I think one of the questions a lot of fans, come ask us, and I get them on when I'm out walking the streets, the crossover. And when I mean the crossover is there really are two different regimes that's going to be, manning the ballpark. Do you see any issue with some of the crossover, like getting some of the MCs or in stadium entertainment? Are they crossing over? Are they playing two different positions? We know you're the River Cats voice. Of course, the A's have their own, but will there be any type of crossover?
Probably. I mean, it's going to take a village to staff that ballpark this year. That's for sure. There's going to be 150 games, and it's going to take all hands on deck. And, there are no better people to work the major league games than the people who are familiar with the ballpark that work the minor league games. So there probably will be. I'm not so much on the staffing side, so I can't speak really in depth about it, but I would just imagine, from a game day staff perspective, like they're going to want a lot of those hands on deck just because they know all the bells and whistles. I guess I shouldn't say that because there are a lot of new bells and whistles. Right. People that are going to be trained on those, so I think it would be ideal to have those same people in some of those same positions.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Zach, we appreciate it. Before we let you go, I got to ask you, because we have, the Academy Awards are coming up. So we've been talking about sports movies. Earlier we had Jay. He said the Jay Award for best sports movie or best baseball movie went to
Major League.
So Zach Bayruti, the Bayruti Award for your favorite baseball movie.
So Major League is a great selection. I have a special place in my heart for Bull Durham because not only is it a movie about the minor leagues, and I've worked in the minor leagues now for 2 decades, but it was also written by a guy who played for the Stockton Ports, and I got to meet. And I can't think of his name. It's embarrassing. I can't pull his name right now. But we had him out to the ballpark. This is maybe like 12 years ago, and he was actually a player for the Stockton Ports, which is cool Central Valley history. And he wrote the script to Bull Durham while he was playing for the Stockton Ports. And
that's not Ron Shelton,
full
is it?
Circle for me. Ron Shelton, yes, sir.
Okay.
Ron Shelton.
Yeah. All right. That's a good one. All right.
That's my nominee.
Okay. Well, that's not a nominee. That's your award to give.
Yeah,
so
you gave it away.
Yeah, the Bayruti Award.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Bull Durham.
Yeah.
Go see it.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, Zach. We appreciate it. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate you, fellas. Thank you.
Absolutely. When we come back, hey, what's going on here? Are the Mavs doing a smear job on Luka? It's next with the Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-611-5252, 800-611-5252, 800-611-5252.
That spice is 10 out of 10. Would recommend. Hi, my name is Khadijah, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich is that spicy kick of the chicken. It's just the right amount of heat, and it gets me excited. And then, pro tip, add that cilantro lime sauce. It cools it down. If the sandwich is at 100, the cilantro lime takes it to 200. It makes me want to, tell all my friends and family.
Order a Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich and a Diet Dr. Pepper on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonial.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card.
One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
These days, it feels like everyone is talking about how the American dream of homeownership has become out of reach for so many of us. Well, Rocket is trying to give us more of a chance to own our homes. They're making homeownership simpler and more accessible to more people, turning renters into owners. Rocket believes that every one of us deserves a shot at the American dream. So, are you ready? Own the dream. Visit rocket.com or call 800-4ROCKET.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. It's cold, and American Energy wants you to stay warm and make sure your system's operating safely. Here's the deal. A $49 tune-up inspection, which is regularly $119. That's a full safety and duct inspection. But guess what? If your system's over 10 years old, the tune-up is on them. That's right. It's free. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. And if you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Oh, by the way, breaking news. They're hiring right now. Here's the deal. They'll train you, full benefits, generous incentive-based pay. Just call today for more details at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Not only great deals from American Energy, but possibly a new career for you. Check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
At Stockton Honda, we know how to honor a great deal. Like right now, during our President's Day sales event, you can find star-spangled savings on some of our best models. Why not stop in today and see for yourself? Save thousands with low APR financing and great lease rates on over 500 new Hondas at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Out of his mercy. What's the done with one?
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Got a note here that I think is going to make a lot of Kings fans feel kind of warm and fuzzy inside. At the same time, maybe make it feel kind of, oh no. Last three Miami Heat players with 20-plus points, 5 or more assists, 2 or more steals, and 85% or better field goal percentage in the game. LeBron James, of course. Jimmy Butler. You know who the other one is, Jay? He just did it.
Jalen Green.
Davion Mitchell.
Oh.
Davion Mitchell.
Oh, you said Miami Heat, huh?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Yeah. Davion Mitchell.
I was halfway listening like Kyle Draper.
Tearing it up. When he says half, it's really a quarter. It's like when Doug says, I want to shoot 53s, I'm going to get to 45. And when Drape says, I was only half listening, maybe 10%. But Davion Mitchell, since he got traded from Toronto, 7 games with the Miami Heat, he's averaging 10 a game. He started all 7 games, 32 minutes a game. He's shooting 55% from the floor, 46% from 3. Davion Mitchell's tearing it up.
Man, I ain't throwing
Miami
I ain't moving on. Good ball player.
They didn't get anything out of him.
Yeah.
That's a first-round pick.
Yeah.
You got to, in order to get better and better and better, when you get those draft picks, you got to hit on them. But the one thing you can't do is have someone else hit on the guy that you get and go, spin him off, and then he becomes the player you hoped he would be somewhere else. It's just good for him. It's frustrating. That's all.
Yeah, short sample.
You're right. 7 games.
Yeah, we wasn't talking about that when he was over Toronto. So
yeah, I'm happier for him.
Absolutely.
Like upset that the Kings couldn't figure that out. I mean, they
shouts out to Davion. Hopefully he does have a great, long, prosperous career as well. And if it, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it's going to be here in Sacramento. It was going to be here in Sacramento.
Yeah. And then the other thing is right now, where would he play? I mean, you have so many guards.
Please. And how the Sacramento Kings fans, we have a complex about small guards here in Sacramento.
I think maybe Mike Brown's not a huge fan of small guards either. So
yeah, probably
had something to do with it.
Yep, you might be right.
Yeah,
you might be right.
Luka is not a small guard. Luka is a big guard, and Luka and LeBron are playing well together, and the Lakers are rolling. They won again last night. I don't enjoy this, by the way, talking today about how well the Warriors are doing, how well the Lakers are doing. But this is interesting. Obviously, it's potentially very embarrassing for the Dallas Mavericks. And now some in LA are saying, they're suggesting that Dallas is so embarrassed by this trade that they're trying to badmouth Luka. They're trying to do a smear job on Luka. And this is what Sam Amick wrote in The Athletic a couple of days ago. Because remember, he was down there and he was covering. Real Madrid, who is entering the NBA draft. They predict his basketball demise, highlighting a health history that, as some see it, will likely lead to catastrophe in the next 5 years or so, end quote. So we don't know. Maybe Dallas really felt that way, and maybe that's why they made this deal. And maybe they're right or maybe they're wrong, but some in LA now are suggesting, for example, in the, in the newspapers, like, oh, they're doing a smear job on Luka because they're trying to cover their behinds.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see both ways. You have to be almost bona fide 5150 to trade Luka Doncic anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so you better have a campaign to come behind that. You better have a campaign that's going to spin it in a negative light for you to justify the fact that you traded Luka Doncic.
Right.
So, I could see both sides of the fence. I'm not sure. And I always say there's three sides to the truth. I'm not going to believe one side or the other because I think there may be something, maybe a little something on both sides. So I think there's always three parts to the story. Maybe they are. Maybe they do believe he was out of shape, but maybe they're going to, they're going extra hard about proving that he was out of shape, releasing pictures. It's almost like a private eye. Like some of the things I've seen on social network. Who the hell's taking that picture? That looks like somebody from TMZ who posted did you have some PIs go get those pictures? Did you get paparazzi send those to you? Like, hey, you better get these pictures off the black market now. We're gonna post like some of these pictures. You see Luka drinking, alcoholic beverage, and then you look around. It's like that's not even a straight on pic. It's all grainy. Looks like they're from '97. Like, what are we doing here?
You've seen the one? Is it his dad? Somebody hands him a beer, and then Michael Finley from the Mavs comes and takes it.
Yeah, that's a video.
I would not be surprised if Dallas actually feels this way. Obviously, that's
all of Dallas, or just the
I'm talking about the
general manager, the owner.
If that's why they trade, I wouldn't be shocked if that is why they traded him. But if that is, you got to keep your mouth shut about it. And then if you're right, you're right. And I know it looks bad now, but you should have thought of that ahead of time. That was you signed up for that when you traded him. But to trade him, not say anything publicly, but then if you're back channeling this stuff, that ain't right.
Yeah, but it happens all the time, right?
I know it happens all the time, but it's not right.
Yeah, absolutely. But and that's what I say. I think there's three sides to the story. And I'll even take it a step further. I don't think it's Dallas. I think it's one or two people in that organization who have the power to make the move to say, we didn't want him.
Well, it's got to be the owner. Owner has to be
one
of them.
I'm with you. I think
because he has to sign off on all
that. I think it's the money thing with the owners. Like, almost a half of a billy. Yeah, I'm good.
We'll see that. Cool. That could be if they said we don't want to pay that guy all that money.
Yeah.
Trade him, and then we'll
figure it out.
Known that we have issues. That
he's got a hookah problem.
Yeah, hookah Doncic. Yeah.
I'm with you. It's a nasty, nasty thing if that's true.
Yeah, and it just makes them look worse, I think.
The Mavericks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's bad enough they traded him, but then just wait and see and write it out. I think they somehow managed to underestimate how much blowback there was going to be.
Yeah.
Well, how in the world could you not know how angry your own fans were going to be?
Right. But I think they handled it wrong in the fact of everybody in the world knows they didn't get true value for Luka, and maybe you never get value. And we've seen it today. Sam Amick also came out and said that Minnesota Timberwolves, we allegedly heard, sources have said that Dallas picked up the phone and called one other team, asked to make the trade for Luka and their guy, and that team said no. Well, allegedly it was Minnesota, and they said no, we're keeping Ant-Man. We'll take the 16 technicals and move on.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think they didn't get fair market value. I also think just what you said, the underestimation of trading Luka Doncic, but it's just the way they did it, a Saturday night. It just was bad business, man. It was bad business. And I know it's business, but it was bad business.
Right. And when you go about something like that involving the face of your franchise, you got to be really careful. And it really sounds like they were like, oh, well, we didn't know people would be this upset.
Please, man.
And that's idiotic. That's just moronic.
Yeah. Those are more times than not people who have been in a position and, almost like you're ignorant to the point of reality.
Yeah.
It's like you're ignorant to the point of reality that you don't believe when you trade Luka Doncic, it's going to be the shot heard around the world.
Right.
And unless you're getting back Giannis, like I said, there's probably 5 or 6 guys in the league. You pick up the phone and you say, hey, man, I got Luka on the line. You ready to do it? And those other 5, 6 GMs say, nah, and it just depends on who you're asking. But there's really a SGA, a Giannis, an Ant-Man, a Wemby, maybe a Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond that, who else we really talking about? Steph Curry, please send them.
Yeah.
You want Steph? No problem. We'll send them to Dallas. Splash Brothers reunite.
We'll come back with a guy who has made big trades. I mean, they've been his call. He's been responsible for some of the biggest trades in Kings history. Jerry Reynolds, all-time Kings icon, joins us next on Sactown Sports.
This Saturday, Kings and Rockets. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip-off at 5.
The Kings play here on Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports, 1140.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard.
I'm the refund tree.
Sawing off its branches.
Hey.
Feeding them through a wood chipper.
My branches! My beautiful branches!
And dancing in its refund rain. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
As we all continue to hear scary ads about the IRS, Tax Relief Advocates is leading the way, showing U.S. taxpayers why they don't need to be afraid of the IRS. Whether you owe the IRS $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, TRA has a solution. With major tax relief initiatives currently in effect, we could reduce or even eliminate what you owe to the IRS, business or personal. Our experts know how to resolve tax problems and end all collections. TRA is America's highly rated tax resolution firm with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and thousands of 5-star Google reviews. Don't wait. You may qualify for a significant tax debt reduction that can give you a fresh start, but you must call for a free consultation and to check what tax relief you qualify for. Visit TRA.com or call our relief hotline at 800-335-8578. 800-335-8578. Again, that's 800-335-8578. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Lowe's knows that your deadlines don't change, even when your job does. But with Lowe's Buy Online, Pick Up in Store, we'll help you adjust on the fly. And when you absolutely can't leave the project, we can deliver to your job site as soon as same day. Lowe's knows pros. We help, you save. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
High voltage live boxing action returns to the venue on March 8th as Uppercut Promotions presents Thunder Showdown 2 with 8 big fights on the bill featuring top-level veterans and the best in up-and-coming new names. Scheduled fighters include names like cruiserweights Blake McKernan and Sean Miller. It's a night of great boxing action you won't want to miss. It's Thunder Showdown 2 coming March 8th to the venue at the Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Fight cards subject to change. See Thunder Valley website for scheduled lineup.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sacktown Sports 1140. Live and local. It's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
It's like the perfect combination. You got Jay and Whitey, you got the Drive Guys, you got Friday, and now we got our favorite guest of all time. Nice enough to join us, of course, all-time Kings icon, Jerry Reynolds. How are you today, Coach?
You know, I'm doing great, obviously, and I was telling Jay, I just hope you don't go silent on me here. I'm just hoping we can get through the segment and everything goes 100%.
Yeah, no promises, Jer. You know how it is. We'll see what we can do. Let me ask you, what stood out to you about the wins over Charlotte and Utah?
Well, they're not very good, the opposition, but I did think that it was great to see Zach LaVine starting to look like Zach LaVine. I think that's a real step. Guy obviously is a marvelous talent, and I think really can be a 25-point guy, and productive. I mean, as the Kings get a little more comfortable with how to use him and himself with his teammates. So I guess that, and still concerned a little bit. Obviously Valanciunas is a nice pickup. I mean, LaRavia, I don't know if he's an answer over Trey Lyles, for instance. It's just there's things to work out. I like the idea of the pickup of Markelle Fultz, but that's still a work in progress as well. So, Doug, Coach Christie's. It's tough enough being an interim coach, but then being an interim coach when you got all these new people. I mean, I just think he's done a terrific job, obviously, under about as difficult circumstances as you could have.
Legend, please help me out, because I know you tune into the show when you have an opportunity, but I've been one of the people on the show that's been saying, I don't believe players in the locker room and we as fans should react the same way we don't complain about a win, and we don't complain about who we playing if someone else on the opposite team is injured. Have you ever had an instance where a team has gotten a win and said, you know what, man, I don't want to accept this win because player A is hurt?
No, Jay, you are right on there, man. The way I approach it is a W is a W. Okay. I don't care if they only have 4 players show up.
That's right.
We'll kick their butt and take the
W. Jerry, is there any concern over Domas's numbers being down over the last 2 games?
Yeah, I think a little bit because I think really back to back, Domas probably had his 2 worst games since he's been a King. Now, why is that? I don't think that with the new people, it's probably benefited his game like it probably will as we go forward. And then I honestly worry about him. He looks worn down to me, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, wow. I thought he just got outplayed in Utah.
Well, yeah, he did. Walker Kessler was just better. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's not something you'd normally expect to say.
Right.
So yeah, Domas, he's got to bounce back. I'm pretty confident he will, but you can't, just his turnovers, really out of sorts for a guy that's been very good with his assist to turnover ratio for his career. And so, but a lot of that's, new people not knowing quite how to play with everybody.
Legend, if you feel that he's worn down, how does one get him to refresh himself at this point of the season?
Here's the answer. It's not possible.
Man.
It's short of just saying, don't play for 4 or 5 games, and the Kings just can't afford that.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I don't, cutting his minutes a few, that's not going to make a difference. I mean, it is what it is this stage of the season, and it's a grind, and now it's even the most important part of the season. So you just got to, if anybody can bounce back or find a way, I think he's the guy.
I got a basketball question for you, Jared. If anybody can help me, you can. You coached in the NBA and you coached in college and junior college and high school, and you played, and you've seen more basketball than most of us could even think of seeing. When did it become mandatory on a 3-on-1 fast break to throw a lob pass? Because I missed that rule. Why now is that if you're on 3-on-1, you have to throw a lob? When did that happen, Jared? I missed that.
I think it has been a last 10-year thing. And I'm with you. You can go looking through some of the basketball books and drills and things, and I don't think you'll find anything. Come down 3-on-1 and throw a lob, and with a 20% chance of connecting. I've never quite understood that, but I think that was in the same thing as penetrate real hard to the basket on a fast break and kick it to the corner rather than shooting a layup. So I've missed those drills. I just wasn't privy to them.
Yeah, I figured if anybody knew you,
joined by the legendary Jerry Reynolds. Legend, what's your assessment of Malik Monk so far in the 10 games or so of him being at the helm of the team, so at point guard?
Well, I think he's struggling a little bit. I think he needs to just relax and let the game come to him more. I really feel like he's searching for his offense maybe more than he should, especially with the addition of Zach. I think he really has to become more of a playmaker. Look to make plays first, score second. That's what's needed now. I mean, that hasn't been his game in the past, but I think it is. I think he could do it. But I thought, he like a couple of guys is kind of over dribbling, and forcing things. So, but Malik's got the talent. We saw it, have seen it, handling the ball, making plays. So I guess I'd be a little critical there that he's really trying to do a little too much.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this, probably a very simple question, but what we saw from Keegan against Utah, why do we not see that more? Because we know he's capable.
Yeah, we do. That's a great question. I mean, he's always been good against Utah. I guess we just got to try to play Utah about 70 times a year. But, yeah, he really seemed aggressive. He got shots, and I think too. I mean, part of it is he's never been a guy to hunt for shots, and it looked like, I mean, but he needs to become more that way. Especially on this team. You're not going to have a lot of structured call plays, so you're really going to have to basically hunt for your own shot.
Yeah, you got to hunt for them because no one's going to bring them to your house and ring the doorbell, right?
No, they're not. I think you'll go 40 minutes without getting one if that's what it's going to be.
Legend, what would you tell your squad at the moment, and or maybe I should ask this question in a different area. When you bouncing back from an all-star break and you got a long road trip ahead of you, how are you preparing your squad to be ready for battle?
Well, I think you just point out the realities of where they are. I mean, look, guys, sometimes you really need to remind them of exactly the situation and the goals and do it, on a regular basis. Look, we're 10th. We don't want to be 10th. And we're close, just a few games away. And we've got all this next game's a big game. And then when the next game comes up, go through the same thing. Sometimes just reminding people of the seriousness of the circumstance and certainly the quality of opposition, means that you better come with your A game. You're not playing Utah tonight. You're playing the Houston Rockets or the Denver Nuggets. So if you don't bring your A game, you have no chance.
We talked to Doug yesterday, and I asked him about a number he threw out this week. He said, I wanted the team to shoot 50 threes, which a lot of people we rolled our eyes. What is he talking about? Yesterday, he confessed to us. He said 50 because he wants them to shoot more than 40. So I'm just thinking, you as an old coach, you've probably had to do that a time or two in some way or another with your teams, right?
Well, of course, when it came to threes, it's like if you shoot a three, it better be a wide open, comfortable one, because that just wasn't happening too much then, and we shot more than most. But that's probably the only thing I don't totally get. I mean, you want in my mind, you'd want the team to shoot as many good threes as they can get. If that's 50. That's a good number. If you can get 30 wide open, good, comfortable threes, then 30 is your number. So I guess the old school in me says you shouldn't be, forcing any shots just to create some sort of a number. You're working for good shots.
Yeah,
that's all. That's good offense.
The game is going to dictate what a good number of threes is, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then certainly some teams are going to create the style, where it's a little more half court. And so you don't get the open transition three. So it's a little harder to get the same numbers. But to me, the result would be the same thing is you want a good, comfortable, high percentage shot.
Yeah. One of the things that I've thought Coach Christie has done very well is switch up the defense 2 or 3 times during the game. More or less, especially early on in his tenure here, felt like he would be a 1-3-1, then he'd switch to a zone for a quick couple of minutes, then he'd jump back to man. What's your assessment on his defensive play? And of course, knowing where he comes from and how, who he was on the defensive side, Coach, from a coach's eye, what's your thoughts on Coach Christie's defensive tacticals?
Yeah, I really like it. I mean, he's really, clearly this is not a talented defensive team. And, and certainly Doug knows that because he was so terrific as a defender. But I like the tempo changes, as you point out, Jay. I mean, where you're going from a zone for a few minutes and to maybe a different zone, and you go man, and then you do maybe play it straight up, and then you're going to trap out of it. I mean, to me, that's how you kind of cover your weaknesses. And I think they're a work in progress, or clearly, they have some breakdowns, but I really like what he's trying to do because, if you want to get better defense, you're going to have to find ways to mask some of your weaknesses, which would be if you just played everybody straight up man to man all the time. I don't think the Kings would do particularly well that way.
Well, the old vernacular is junk it up, right? Isn't that what you coaches, you say we're going to junk it up?
Yeah, well, I know about that. That's for sure.
Did we lose you, Jer?
No.
Oh, okay,
no.
all right.
No,
Okay, good.
yeah.
With the issues
I
with
just brought back memories.
That's on me.
Come on, Whitey, bringing up negative stuff, man.
I apologize. What are your expectations?
You're kidding like LeBron. Everything you think's negative, man. You gotta cut that out.
What are your expectations here for the rest of this trip? Houston tomorrow, and then you got that big game against Dallas and wrap up the road trip against Denver before coming home to face the Spurs. What do you think of the rest of this trip?
Well, I'd pray to get 2 wins. I mean, certainly they've proven they can beat Denver, and I think Dallas is the the easiest team to beat. Houston Rockets are a tough matchup because, with Amin Thompson, whoever he guards is going to have a bad game.
Yeah.
So I mean that's the whole thing. I'd say just find out who Jalen Green's going and try to get him a lot of shots, and whoever Amin Thompson's guarding, use him as a decoy. How's that for an answer?
Joined by the legendary Jared Reynolds. Enough of the Sacramento Kings, man. There's a reason why you retired, because you didn't want to talk Kings forever. Can I ask you a basketball question?
Anything.
All right, because this is what me and Whitey were talking about a little earlier, Jerry. Can you give me your recollection of the last person to kind of really shoot? I guess 2 questions is the sky hook and a hook.
Yeah, and I'll tell you how this came up, Jer. Yeah. Just for what it's worth. Well, Jay mentioned Wilt Chamberlain. Somebody compared Jay to Wilt Chamberlain. So then we started talking about Wilt, and then I think Jay said, "What happened to the hook shot?" Or maybe it was somebody in the chat. And so we started tracing it back. But yeah, Jay said, well, we got Jerry on, so we'll ask him. So we're trying to figure out where the hook shot stopped. Who was the last guy to really rely on that shot?
Well, it was Jabbar, the sky hook.
Yeah.
And there really hasn't been anybody that copied that shot exactly ever. I mean, now you see some running hooks, like Magic developed and some other guards and big players. And the half hook, which I think Dave Cowens, I always gave him credit for that as an undersized center, and you see that shot a lot.
Yeah.
Vlade had a nice hook.
Yeah, he
did. It's been kind of a lost art, that's for sure. I mean, but Jabbar was a one of one, and so many big players now for some reason don't want to shoot it. They want to shoot fadeaway jump shots or something.
Yeah.
But
well, Webb had that half hook too, didn't he? A little bit.
Yeah. He had a great, because he has just great hands. That was a real weapon for him. Because just like with Cowens did, with bigger guys, you just get the ball, get them on your side, and then they can't get to the ball. But Webb was really good at that.
Can I another one, Whitey, if you don't mind me asking? We were talking about Steph Curry and, being top 10 of all time and, all that jazz. One of the things I want to ask you, Legend, is I give, Steph Curry a little more recognition because I feel like he's changed the game, so to say. I think Shaq changed the game. They created zone defenses and things like that. Who was one of the first people that you can ever remember, in my upbringing or who I watched, they kind of changed the game?
Well, I think the first one was Wilt Chamberlain in my mind, because he did change the game.
Right.
They widened the free throw lane because of him. They changed free throw rules where you had to stay behind the line. And then you could throw the ball over the basket from out of bounds, and of course he'd stand there and then catch it and dunk it if I could stop it. So I mean, really probably more than any player in history. I mean, and of course his dominance and stats would kind of prove that, but he certainly changed it. I mean, I think, certainly, and that's a real good point on Curry, because he really did bring the three-point shot and into really focus. Not that other people hadn't shot him and shot him pretty well, but he really did. He changed, to me, he's probably responsible for teams playing how they play. And of course, some of them shouldn't probably be playing that way as much because they're not Steph Curry.
Didn't the key, we talk about the key, to your point, before Wilt, wasn't the key actually shaped like a key, but then they widened it out?
Yeah, exactly.
What? Yes.
Yeah, shaped like a key, about 6 foot, and so you plant him in there, on the box, and he if he caught the ball, then he could just turn and dunk it, I mean, anybody could stop him, and so, they spread him out there, and then he had to develop the little fall away. He'd shoot a little fall away off the glass, other than dunking the ball or the little underhand flip. But
he kind of invented the finger roll. Yeah,
he really was. Although his finger roll was a kind of a low one because he didn't have to roll very high. Kind of just dipping it into the pot, kind of thing. But of course, he was. There's never been a player. He was almost like the Babe Ruth of his time in the basketball. We're so dominant, I always say, people always talk about, Babe Ruth, his home run. I said, he hit. I remember 60. The year he hit 60, no team hit 60.
Right. Yeah.
So a little different than guys hitting 60 now when the teams are hitting 250.
Right. Yep. Right. Did Wilt have good footwork, Legend?
Yeah, he did.
He did?
Yeah, he did. He was a great athlete, was outstanding track man for his time, and, of course, volleyball player, great hands. Probably his weakness, I think, was probably from talking to Willis Reed and Bill Russell and different guys that played against him, was that he was almost too nice a guy. He didn't want to hurt anybody. And he clearly could have.
Yeah. Right.
Bill always told me, he said, he could have broke my arms I don't know how many times if he'd really wanted to.
Yeah. Wow. That and foul shooting, right?
And yes, foul shooting. Yeah. The lament of the big man, people forget Russ couldn't shoot free throws either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's kind of been forgotten because Russ really couldn't shoot, but he had enough guys who could. So it didn't really make any difference. But with Wilt and Shaq and if they'd have had the hack of Wilt back then, that would have been something.
One more, Legend, before we let you go, man. I know you have you gotten your walk in for the day?
Yes, I have. I had a nice one this afternoon listening to little Van Morrison. My gosh, it was a good day. Little brown-eyed girl, you can't beat that.
Real fast, I've been watching. I watched all of it. I sat down on one night and watched all of it. There's a special on this past Dream Team, the Olympics this past year, called Court of Gold, and it follows really Canada, Serbia, France, and United States. Right, it's on Netflix, about 4 or 5 episodes, and I was captivated by. They were having a conversation. Of course, they always talk about the '92 Dream Team, but I was captivated by Vlade, and he was talking about the political situation, everything over in Yugoslavia and Serbia and things like that, Montenegro, that time. And I know you didn't know Vlade at the time, through when it was early on his career, but I asked this question in the form of, they didn't play in the '92 Olympics because of political situations. Vlade in '92 and Serbia in '92, to the best of your recollection, and I know I'm springing this on you, do you think they had any opportunity or chance to even challenge Dream Team 1?
No.
Just no.
Yeah, don't even go there.
Because they were like, Vlade was like, oh yeah, we would have had an opportunity, and they were coming off of gold of the Europe Cup and all that.
Love Vlade, bless his heart. No chance. Don't even think that you wake up in a cold sweat at night if you believe that could happen.
I'm gonna text him that. There you go. With that clip from the great legend.
Yeah. Thank you, Coach. We always learn so much and appreciate it. Hope you enjoy it too. Have a great weekend, and we will talk to you soon.
I will. You guys do the same.
All right. Care. Thank you.
See
you too. The one and only Jerry Reynolds.
Legend said, hell no. No way, no how.
Nope. Not a thing, Jay.
Dude, you got to watch it and tell me what you think. Yeah, it's okay, but it's basketball, so I know you'll be interested in it and hear some of the stories. But I found that super interesting because I remember that, I was only 8 years old or whatever at the time, 7, 8 years old. And I'm like, man, but they would have got smoked. Of course they would have got smoked. but everybody complains about 9 people only on all countries that were involved. There were 9 people that had either played in the NBA or were getting ready to play in the NBA. Tony Kukoc. And, Vlade really set up there, and a couple of the other guys are like, man, we felt like we had an opportunity or a chance. And I know they didn't, but, I'd ask the coach, man. You got to see it through basketball eyes.
As you were asking that question, I was flashing back on 1999, which was the first year when the Kings, when they had Vlade, Weber was there, and Jay Will, and they were really good and entertaining. But down the stretch of that season, I remember in his homeland, people were being bombed. And I remember the stories. They'd play a game, then he'd have to call home to make sure everybody was okay.
Yeah.
And he played great. And I remember wondering at the time, how in the world do you do that? And I think it was a matter of it helped him playing basketball. It's one thing he could focus on to get away from all of that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Civil unrest is just something that's detrimental to our world, but it's something that they've had to deal with. And, they were talking about how it had set back the country. And, of course, the, politically splitting in different parts of Yugoslavia at the time. And so it was it just super interesting.
Check that out.
Yeah, super interesting. And that part where they were covering Serbia and, like I say, Montenegro and, different parts of the country. It's just super interesting how they felt they were robbed of having the opportunity. Yeah. And of course, the competitiveness and a couple of the guys that they showed, and I can't remember a few other people that they showed off the top of my head, but they, they're like, look, we were coming off of the win, of course, in 88, and we felt good, won the Euro Cup and all these different things. We felt like we would have went over there and gave them a hard game to play. Not saying they, Vlade didn't say like, oh, we would win, but we would have definitely showed up. And so I just found it super interesting because that's the one thing I always argue about the Dream Team is they played nobody. There's absolutely nobody that they played. They were supposed to beat everybody by 50, 40.
They might have been good at making it look like whoever they were playing was nobody too. But you're
That's
right. Kings got some help last night. Can they expect any tonight? We'll look at that when we come back. Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-292-7788. 800-292-7788.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
This Saturday, Kings and Rockets. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip-off at 5.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
At Stockton Honda, we know how to honor a great deal. Like right now, during our President's Day sales event, you can find star-spangled savings on some of our best models. Why not stop in today and see for yourself? Save thousands with low APR financing and great lease rates on over 500 new Hondas at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
We rely heavily on our HVAC systems during the cold valley winters and hot valley summers. That's why there are so many HVAC companies out there. So when you need a new system or a tune-up, where do you turn? I turned to Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. Once our heater checked out, we checked in at leesair.com. The entire experience exceeded our high expectations. You want prompt service from people who know what they're doing, can save you money, and will treat you right? For your HVAC needs, Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, on the web at leesair.com. Ask about their $99 HVAC tune-up service, license number 635355.
One ticket, two huge shows.
The Sacramento Boat Show plus the Big RV Show. Multiple dealers discounting all the best brands. Hundreds of wakeboard boats, fishing boats, and pontoon boats. Acres and acres of travel trailers, fifth wheel, toy hauler, and motorhome. Plus ATVs too. Two shows, one massive event. The Sacramento Boat Show, plus the Big RV Show.
March 6th through 9th at Sacramento's Cal Expo.
Find discounts at
twohugeshows.com.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Don't miss your chance to win tickets to the Sacramento Boat Show and Off-Road Expo March 6th through the 9th at Cal Expo, the largest outdoor recreation show in the market. Just go to SactownSports.com now for your chance to win.
When it feels like the world is on your
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/SactownSports1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Sac Sports 1140, Drive Guys, your boy Jay, sitting in with my boy Whitey Gleason. Stretchy B doing his thing as he always does. Man, you know, one of the things I love about working with my guy Stretchy B and Drapes is you guys got like 15 things going on at one point in time. And so it always astonishes me how you guys do 15 things and then bounce back and are able to have conversations, man. And I feel like I do 10, 15 things, but you know, you guys are moving and grooving pretty much.
Well, I apologize, Jay. That's unprofessional. But with, as you may have noticed, you know, we have a few things going on today where all of a sudden we've been off here, there, and that's caused some problems that we had to make up for another way. So anyway, thank you for your patience. Thank you, Jay. The Kings got some help last night. Can they expect any tonight? What do you think, Jay? You got New Orleans at Phoenix. You got Minnesota at Utah with no Ant. And you got the Clippers at the Lakers. Yeah. So obviously in a perfect world for the Kings, the Clippers would lose, Minnesota would lose, and Phoenix would lose again. And that would improve your overall picture.
Somebody's going to get clipped.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, when I say that, I'm saying Minnesota and or Phoenix. Somebody will probably get the clip put on them. And, you know, I always want to see the Lakers lose.
I know it's hard.
Yeah.
There have been occasions here with the Lakers playing, for example, Minnesota last night. The Kings kind of benefited from that Laker win. A couple nights ago, they're playing Dallas. And I'm watching it and, you know, being keenly aware that the Kings really benefit here if Dallas loses. But I just couldn't bring myself to root for the Lakers. I couldn't do it.
I'm with you. I always go back to the fantasy point for me. I'm not rooting for anyone on any team that I dislike. You know, I just can't do it. I don't care if I'm one of those guys or on my team or not in fantasy, and that's why I don't play fantasy. But, you know, it's a coin flip for me. Lakers, Clippers, doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter. I guess you root for the Lakers because the Clippers are close to you and you need them to take the L. But it's a good night anytime they lose.
Yeah, because you're only 2 behind the Clippers for the 6th spot.
They're right there.
Mm-hmm.
The Clippers are 4-6 in their last 10. We had Law Murray on early in the week. Before they had won a game, they lost 3 in a row. You know, they definitely have a little bit of rest as well, even though they went on a long road trip to the East Coast, so to say. I'm interested to see what they do. You know, they're teetering on starting to slide as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
when you look at the schedule here, that is the next few games, you got Dallas. And if the Kings are going to accomplish anything, you know, maybe they just settle into the 10th and that's where they are, and we'll see where they go from there. But if you want to move up at all, the game against Dallas and the games you have coming up against the likes of, Phoenix, you got to win those games, Jay. Those are almost mandatory wins because you're chasing those teams. You can't give them another chance to gain any more ground on you. So that game Monday is a huge game for the Kings against the Dallas Mavericks, who right now, and I know things could change a little bit between now and then, Dallas is just a game ahead of you for 9th. And Minnesota, they have the same record. So they're also just a game ahead of you. They're in 8th because of the tiebreaker. So I don't know how the Kings find themselves in this position. But again, they're a game out of 8th, game and a half out of 7th, 2 out of 6th. Yeah. So it's all right there. But as you look at this, I don't know how you feel. And I know we were singing the praises of the Warriors so much earlier that some fans probably like, I don't want to hear this. I just don't feel like the Warriors are going to be caught right now.
Think so? Think they're hot?
They are. They've figured something out, and they're feeling good about themselves. And, you know, if you look at Jimmy Butler's numbers for some of these games, like they're not great, but he has re-energized them. And, you know, what Steph did last night, that was incredible.
Yeah, but that's Steph being Steph, right? We knew Steph was going to have some of those games through the season. Let me pull up the Warriors' schedule because I'm not as familiar with the Warriors' schedule as I need to be coming down the stretch. Play at Philadelphia, that's probably a W. No Joel, who's out for the season, been announced today. Got Charlotte back-to-back, so yeah, it was probably 2 that they're going to get. MSG next Tuesday. Got the New York swing with Brooklyn on the 6th, which they're pesky. The Nets are pesky. You know, catch them out there in Brooklyn. You know, Fabulous might be on the floor side.
Yeah.
I'll be pesky.
Here's what they have, Jay, according to NBA.com, if you just go by the opponent winning percentage.
What they have.
Yeah. Right now, from here, Phoenix has the toughest schedule.
We're 2, right?
Yeah.
We're number 2.
The Kings are 2nd. The Warriors are like 19th. The other teams that the Kings are trying to chase, Clippers have the 6th hardest record remaining.
Okay.
Let's see. I think Minnesota's 29th, so they have an easy schedule. Dallas is sitting at 14th, toughest schedule, 505. So again, the Kings have they got a lot of work to do, and they also have those 5 remaining back-to-backs for the Kings.
Yeah, that's the tough one. You brought that to my attention yesterday, and I hadn't paid attention to that, you know, since the beginning of the season, kind of slipped my mind. Those are difficult. Yeah, I look at the Warriors. They got about 2 pockets where it's kind of it's like, ooh, that's going to be difficult, but they're very short, quick, and sweet. It's 3 or 4 game increments, and then they catch somebody on the back end, you know. So I'll give you this. They have and it may be this one. Detroit, who's hot, you know, red hot right now, hot tamales. Then you got Portland, who's playing decent. Sacramento at home. Knicks.
Yeah.
Denver, Milwaukee. Right? Like that's decent. That's decent. Then they got another one in April, beginning of the April. They've got Memphis, Lakers, Denver, Houston, Phoenix. You know, and Phoenix at that point might be playing for their life. They could be out of it.
Yeah.
But you know, they got 2 quick pockets. The rest of it, you know, they got to run against Toronto, Atlanta, Miami, New Orleans, San Antonio, who I think will be done by then. Those are easy, gettable wins. And at the end of the season, they got to run a San Antonio, Portland, and LA. You know, Portland being on the road maybe could slip up there. You know, I could see the 19th ranked remaining schedule.
Yeah, yeah. If the Kings from here, if they miss out on the plan completely, I don't see that happening. But if it happened, that would be just a total disaster.
Meaning
if they don't even get to if they fall out of 10th. It looks unlikely now the way Phoenix is playing. You would have to just collapse. I don't think that happens. But if that were to happen, just looking at all the possibilities, if you finish 11th or worse, that would be disastrous.
Yeah, it is.
If you're 10th or you're 9th, okay. I mean, especially if you're 9th, you know, you got 2 chances. You gotta win 2, and one of those is a home game. So that's something. If you get to 8th or 7th, I would feel like that would be something Kings fans could be happy about, could feel good about. If you somehow got to 6th, it'd be time to build freaking statues of people. If they got to 6th from where they are now, and I know the standings say, they're very close, but you look at all the other factors we're talking about, I don't know that they're really as close as the standings say they are. If you were to get to 6, which you could, that would mean you'd have to find some things, gather some momentum here, which we're hoping they can, play really well down the stretch against good teams. Statue time. If they get to 6, statue for Doug Christie, statue for DeRozan and Zach LaVine, and Vivek, statue for everybody. That's how difficult I think it'll be to get to 6, but they could do it.
They're right there.
They're right there, but are they really? That's what I'm saying.
That's what I was going to ask you is explain to me why you feel, because I think you've already removed the Warriors, right, in your mind, like they're going to excel and leave them. Okay, so if I'm hearing you correctly, the Warriors are your 16. You think they finished 6th?
Yes.
Okay, got you. All right. Well, then I guess I'll hold back my question, because I look at it in the standpoint of all the 4 other teams that are right there, and I'm just saying above them. I'm not looking behind me. I'm looking about where I'm going. Dallas, Minnesota, Golden State, and the Clippers. The Clippers aren't that much better than the Kings right now. And to be honest, I kind of always felt the Clippers would be fighting for that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 anyway.
Right.
And I don't want it to happen, but it's probably inevitable. Kawhi is going to miss another 4, 5, 6, 7 games. It's just part of the situation. Norman Powell's coming back to earth a little bit. He's not at all-star caliber level in certain games. And then when you really sit and look at it, Minnesota's just kind of ho-humming it. Dallas is ho-humming it. It depends on how AD bounces back and Gafford. And, I think Lively is done, but I have to triple check that. I'm going to continue to keep on saying it, Whitey. A run, which is what the Warriors look like they're on right now, 7-3 in their last 10, can separate yourself and solidify a position.
Right. I get that. It's just you look at it in a vacuum. A run and you're in great shape. But it's tough to go on a run, not impossible, but tough when with your 24 games left, you got Cleveland twice, OKC once, Boston once. Those, by the way, back-to-back. You got the Knicks still, you got the Grizz, and you got Denver twice.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
That's a gauntlet.
You do have 2 games against Phoenix, so you take care of your business there. And as far as like any worry about 10th, you don't have to concern yourself with that.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm not worried about falling out of the play-in, but I'd love to move up to at least 8. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, 7.
You're going to have to earn it. You get there, you're going to earn it.
You are. That's why it's entertaining. And that's why, when you continuously hear people say, "Oh, just break it up, tear it down, tank."
That's not entertaining.
Nah. I think if you can sneakily, grab a game or 2 from split some of those that you talked about. Denver, you split a Cleveland, which I don't know how you do because Cleveland's operating on all cylinders at the moment. Memphis, Kings have played Memphis very well. It's not like they can't beat Memphis, but you got to get the Portlands. You got to get the San Antonios. You got to get the Clippers. You got to get both of them at Phoenix.
And when you play those teams that are right ahead of you,
you
got
for
to
sure.
beat them.
Absolutely. The Washingtons, Orlando. You kind of let one slip here in Orlando. Now you got to slide into the Epcot Center and get busy. Like those are the games that you really need to go get. Maybe you catch Boston again, Milwaukee. You never know what you're going to get every single night.
You're definitely going to have Boston's full attention.
Oh,
after
absolutely.
What you did to them back there.
But guess what? It's here.
Yep.
It's here. Stand on your own too. Got to get your home wins.
When we come back to about the B calling out the A's for not wanting to be called Sacramento, am I the only one that is bothered by that? Next with your Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports is bringing you the biggest live events in town. Whether you're rocking out or dancing the night away, check out the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. Crank it up with Steel Panther at Ace of Spades on March 15th. Then catch rising country star Alexandra Kay the next night, March 16th, also at Ace of Spades. On March 22nd, experience the magic of the Ronstadt Review featuring Jasenia at the Crest Theater. Then get ready for an epic night. Papa Roach and Rise Against take over Golden One Center March 29th, while comedy legends Jay Leno and Arsenio Hall bring the laughs to Hard Rock Live Sacramento on that same night. And for country fans, Lee Brice and Walker Hayes hit Ironstone Amphitheater on June 21st, and Parker McCullum takes the stage August 16th at the Ironstone Amphitheater up in Murphys, California. Don't miss out. Find more info and score your chance to win tickets at SacktownSports.com. The Sacktown Sports Live Events Calendar. Your ticket to the best seat in the house.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. It's cold, and American Energy wants you to stay warm and make sure your system's operating safely. Here's the deal. A $49 tune-up inspection, which is regularly $119. That's a full safety and duct inspection. But guess what? If your system's over 10 years old, the tune-up is on them. That's right. It's free. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. And if you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Oh, by the way, breaking news. They're hiring right now. Here's the deal. They'll train you, full benefits, generous incentive-based pay. Just call today for more details at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Not only great deals from American Energy, but possibly a new career for you. Check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
So, Jerry, playing some Queen, huh?
Yeah, I love Queen. I'm a big Queen fan.
All right, I have a question for you about Queen, and maybe this reveals me to be not as smart as I think I am, but there's a commercial for, they don't have it on anymore, for a certain type of truck. And I'm not sure what type it is.
Okay.
But on TV, and they have the boom, boom, cha, boom, boom, cha.
Mm-hmm.
You know that commercial? Yeah. And there's people in their trucks, and they're doing that.
Yes.
And there's an African-American gentleman. And my honest reaction when I saw that was, I don't think that guy's probably listening to Queen. Am I wrong? And that's fine.
Yeah, you might be wrong.
Okay.
You might be wrong. I listen to Queen.
And I wanted to ask somebody, like, I can't really ask that because people.
Nah. I listen to Queen. I think Queen has enough hits that it transitions.
Okay.
You know, it's one of their transition. Come on, Freddie Mercury is arguably one of the greatest, boisterous people out there that you've ever seen, lead guys in a rock band. And so they've got the, We Will Rock You, like you said. You have, so many Bohemian Rhapsody. They got so many different hits, man, that I think Queen has been sampled so many times.
All right.
That it's just kind of one of them bands. It's like, oh yeah, I know. I've heard that song before. You just can't escape it.
I'm glad you told me that. Thank you. So I used to wonder about that, and I'd see that commercial again. Yeah, I don't know about that.
You don't think nobody rocking the Queen, man?
Well, and I mean, plus it was, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. But
I believe you.
They, like I said, they are definitely transitional.
Yes.
They are a band that will be constantly passed out through the halls of time, and they have.
So they transcend.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. They have too many hits not to, yes. It's just too many. Killer Queen and even some other, I want to say less popular songs.
Mm-hmm.
But even some of their, Somebody to Love, things like that. They have a lot of.
Anybody find me? Somebody. Yeah. You're right. I mean, a great singer.
Oh yeah.
Did you see the movie about?
I did. Yeah. I think it was called Bohemian Rhapsody, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm. This is interesting too from the Sacramento B. Gentleman here writing an opinion piece by the name of LeBron Hill. LeBron Hill, bless you. LeBron Hill is writing in the B, SacB.com, posting that he thinks the A's are disrespecting Sacramento by not taking the name Sacramento, by not using it. He actually quotes Destiny's Child in his piece. Say my name, say my name. He says the justification used by the team for this is odd And then he has a statement from Sandy Dean, A's interim president. Out of acknowledgement and respect for the interim nature of our time in the greater Sacramento region, we decided to refer to ourselves as the Athletics. We appreciate the warm welcome we have received from the greater Sacramento region. This community will be our home for the next 3 years, and the city has embraced us as to our interim host until we move to our permanent home in Vegas. We hope Major League Baseball in West Sacramento will bring energy, joy, and sold-out crowds. And so far, as you pointed out, Jay, as we've been discussing, ticket sales are just, it's incredible. They're through the roof.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to think I'm the only one that really cares about this. Me and LeBron
Hill?
Yeah.
You and L Hill?
I thought this would be the type of thing that would bother you, and you from the beginning have seemed kind of like, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, because I'm playing the long play here, brother.
Yeah, big picture.
I'm looking bird's eye view. Don't put it under a microscope. It's not microscopic. I'm looking for the bird's eye view in the form of hopefully this leads to a team being here in Sacramento permanently. And for me, as a lifelong A's fan, I'm hoping it is the A's, the Athletics. But I'm also willing, and I've come to fruition, that if it's not the A's, maybe it is another ball club, right? And so I've also said this. You can't run from the fact of where you play. And maybe not, officially, you're going to be called the Sacramento A's. But unofficially, in street terms, in slang, you're going to be called the Sacramento A's.
Yeah.
And I may not be able to go to, Doco and hit the lids and get an official Sacramento A's jersey, but you better believe I'm going to be able to call some of our locally owned, brands and be able to get a Sacramento A's jersey. So I'm not so much as hung up on you not using the City of Trees name, but we all know it's the Sac A's, baby.
Right. And even LeBron Hill says, I will be calling them the Sacramento A's.
Absolutely.
So
I will too.
I think this is the last time I'm going to mention it because seriously, because people just don't care. It's
crusade. Why?
No, it doesn't matter. People are like, yeah, that's great. I'll see you at the game. I got to go get my tickets. So, okay. If people are like you and maybe you're just smarter than me, which is not hard to imagine. But if you're thinking, you know what, it's not that big a deal. All right, then I'm going to try to roll with it too. I'm giving up that cause.
You don't want to crusade
I'm still fighting for Jerry Lucas to get his jersey retired.
Okay.
But I'm giving up on they should call it Sacramento A's. Because you're right. We'll just call them that.
Yeah. I mean, unless we get a cease and desist. And then it's like, oh, we can't. Then that's when I'll have an issue.
Yeah. They couldn't do that.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. But you never know. But I think if, it became an issue, and I think that's why I'm okay with it, Whitey, is the ball team, the organization, the ball club, they haven't come out and be like, oh, don't call us that. Don't say that. They're just being sly and petty from my standpoint of, hey, go ahead and do your thing. But it's Sacramento A's, man. No matter what anybody wants to say, it's the Sacramento A's for sure.
Yeah. Banta says, what is the media supposed to call them? Just the A's? Yeah. I mean, you can call them what you want. You're the media, you're free to call them what you want, but officially the A's are saying we are the Athletics. That's what we are now. Out of respect for the process, we are not the Sacramento A's, we're just the Athletics.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people in the media banter are saying we're just going to call them Sacramento A's because otherwise it's, you need to call them that to explain who you're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's not okay. I give up. You're right. I'm gonna give up that push. Like I get it.
No.
Well, I've learned. I accept it. If it's not bothering the rest of the, a large swath of people here in the valley, then it's not worth making a big deal of.
Well, I think there's a contingency. I think we've talked about this a few times on the show. There's a contingency of people who want to be, want the team to be called the Sacramento A's, and I think a lot of it has to do with garb, gear, merch. You want to be able to have the opportunity to buy something that says Sacramento A's. And, I'm not going to speak it into existence, but if they do happen to leave for whatever reason, you want a little piece of history. It's the reason why we have Emron, the True Sports Cards, comes on and values pieces of history and memorabilia and cards. And you being a collector yourself, we got insiders dropping blank white phones for pieces of memorabilia.
Right.
As a fan, you want, as a fan of the A's, as a fan of the city, as someone that, is intertwined into the mix of what's going on with the ball club, you absolutely want something to say Sac A's. So I think unofficially, you'll be able to get all the merch that you possibly want. Officially, probably not. And to take the step further, I think you should continue politicking, man. Don't.
I'll see. I'm going to read the room a little bit because you know how it is. If you're yelling about something and nobody cares, then you're just yelling.
Well, that's true.
So I'm just taking.
I almost said a name, but I was like, let me catch myself. I'm
going to take a few steps back and just read the room a little bit, take the temperature, and then decide whether to resume this quest or not.
Instead of the bird's eye view or the microscopic view, you're gonna put your binoculars on.
A little bit
in between.
Yeah. I'm gonna listen.
Okay,
I'm gonna listen. Do you think you will root for this team as if they were truly the Sacramento A's? I mean, in your mind, is this is our team now? Sacramento team, is it?
A good question.
You know, like the Kings are Sacramento. Yeah. Is this team in your mind, it's Sacramento's team, or is it this is a team that's going to be with us for a few years, but they're not really our team?
You know, that's a good question because in small portions, we've talked about my fandom of the Oakland A's and the organization and the team.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's two pieces there. Maybe we'll come back and have a conversation on it. I think there's two things that I'm looking at that question in the form of. One, as an A's fan, I have to root for the team. And then in the same tier, parallel, I'm rooting for my city as well to try to keep the A's. And so I think those are it's a two-part question, Whitey.
Mm-hmm.
It really is, you know, because I'm an A's fan through and through. So I'm going to root for the A's no matter what, unless they move to Vegas. Then I think that's a whole nother conversation. I think I'm out then. But
Bruce says can't root on a rental team. Banta says, Amadrock actually says, when you go to the ballpark, the chant should be Sacramento.
Yeah, I'm with that.
And Banta's
so, but okay, who was the first person that said something? Can't root for a rental?
Bruce can't root on a rental team.
Let me ask you something, Bruce. Are you an A's fan? And so, if you are, then what? Don't root for the team because they've moved to Sacramento, or if you're, you know, and that's kind of where I'm in the middle. It's like I'm an A's fan, so I'm rooting for the team,
right?
But I'm also from Sacramento, so I want to root for the squad to be a part of the city and the city to keep the squad. Now, if you're not an A's fan, yeah, that's easy to say because you don't give a damn about rooting for them, right? I care less about the Giants.
I still think we'll have more Giants fans in Sacramento than A's fans.
Oh, I think so too. And really, be honest, this sounds bad, but because the Giants are Johnny come lately, they've won as of late. Cats is attaching themselves to the Giants. Mm-hmm. You know, when you really sit down and look at it, man, the A's ran everything for so long, 70s and 80s and 90s. Man, Giants weren't winning nothing. You know what I mean? Now they're winning, and here comes my hate. I'm supposed to hate on the Giants. But I think it's like the Warriors.
You laid it on poor Zach Beirut.
Yeah, I know that. I did, man. I have to ask Zach, man. How can you jump out there and call yourself a Giant fan? Now I'm playing. But I think that's the question is you have to root for the squad if you're an A's fan, and then Sacramento just throws a little sugar on top.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I didn't offend you with my question about the guy in the trucks doing the Queen stuff, did I?
No.
Okay. All right. Because some people had an issue with that, but I knew I could ask Jay.
For sure.
When we come back, Kingly concerns with 24 games left. What are the Kingly concerns? What are your concerns with this team? Next on Sacktown Sports.
Welcome to TGL presented by SoFi. Golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line, golf, Tiger, Rory, and more. The best from the PGA Tour split into 16. Learn more at TGLGolf.com. Tune in every week for TGL matches. Keep up. It's golf.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay, things, people, love. Eligible items only, exclusions apply.
I joined the military for my kid and his mom. I miss my son a lot. One of the things with the military is tobacco, but I saw a lot of people try to deal with mental issues. Everyone's vaping constantly. After my first hit of a vape, I was hooked like that. Once I got back home from my deployment, I caught my son trying to hit my vape. That was it. I had to quit.
Californians are beating big tobacco.
You can too. For free support, text Kick Nicotine to 66819 today.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
At Stockton Honda, we know how to honor a great deal. Like right now, during our President's Day sales event, you can find star-spangled savings on some of our best models. Why not stop in today and see for yourself? Save thousands with low APR financing and great lease rates on over 500 new Hondas at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-301-4422, 800-301-4422, 800-301-4422.
Whitey here, reminding you that not all grills are created equal and every detail matters. Check out the new Napoleon Prestige and Rogue models and see the difference a Napoleon makes. Napoleon grills have features other grills can't match. They're built different, built better, built to last, complete with a lifetime warranty and premium stainless steel, boasting absolute quality. Napoleon knows that the smallest details add up to make a big difference when curating your perfect grilling experience. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Amadrock says MLB standings at MLB.com show the team listed as ATH. Yeah, that's just the way MLB is going to deal with it. But if everybody else in town's fine with it, I'm fine with it too. We got Major League Baseball here in Sacramento. I keep saying that because honestly, Jay, dear listener, I'm still having a hard time believing it. I really am. It's like, we're going to have like 81 games, Major League Baseball in Sacramento. It's really, it's incredible.
Yeah. Well, and we know at least 162 here. That's 2 years.
Yeah.
They're saying 3, maybe 4, who knows?
Yeah.
And I'm saying forever, but it is, if you take a step back and you really look at it and you're like, man, who would have ever thought, people have had dreams of bringing a big league club here, but they're here.
Yeah. Greg Lukenbill, the first owner of the Sacramento Kings, he was working on it. He got letters of intent, I guess you'd call them, from some teams that said, yes, you build a stadium, we will play an exhibition game there.
Yeah.
And he had a press conference in 1990, whatever it was, and shared these letters. And, they were going to build the baseball stadium right next to Arco Arena.
Yeah.
And you've seen, and about the
Foundation
Clown Cave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Foundation.
Which is, they were building a tunnel from Arco 2 that was supposed to go all the way to the baseball park. They only put the foundation of the grandstands in.
Yep.
And then they never finished the tunnel. So they had this space, and it became an area that the Clowns, when the Ringling Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus would come in, the clowns took that over, and they called it Clown Cave. That's where they would kind of hang out.
Chill out. Yeah.
It's supposed to be a tunnel to the baseball stadium.
Right. The one that's always got me is, and I've done tons of research on this. I've had, talked to throughout history, tons of people. Of course, we've had Luke and Bill on. The Raiders were a flip of the switch away from being here.
I remember when that happened, and I never thought so, but I've had people that were close to it that said, oh, yeah, that
it was
really
done.
Almost happened.
And, there's one person allegedly who, got on the phone with Al Davis and changed the history. But, yeah, I mean, it was a done deal.
Uh-huh.
It was a done data.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
I remember going out to Arco 2, and, they had that, it was pretty small, but box office before you go to the arena, you go in. And they had in there at one time, they had a miniature model of the field, the football field that would be built. Because I remember, if I recall correctly, it was like an electric football kind of field, but it was, something you architects put together. And I think it had Raiders in the end zones. And it's like, wow, that'd be cool someday.
It was there, man.
Yeah.
I heard it was, part of the another business partner of Greg, Luke, and Bill went in and kind of undercut the situation. And I think he's told that story here. And I no doubt I know he's told that story other places in public. But
kind of changed some of the terms that have been agreed upon.
Yep. And they were like, oh, I can get it for a little lower. Okay, no problem. And it just kind of blew up the whole deal. But
yeah.
Heard it was signed, sealed. It just wasn't delivered. Who would have ever thought? The Raiders and Sac.
I know.
Dang.
That's what, maybe because, again, that's been hard to believe. Maybe that's why I've always thought, it probably wasn't that close. But,
for me,
people like you just said, Jay, a lot of people say, no, it nearly happened.
It was done. Yeah. The one that still stings, man, is the MLS, because I was out there, the Raiders and ball and baseball being here. I was young, if not born yet, some of these conversations and pipe dreams. Those are dreams. I was literally an adult. I was literally out there. I was watching people celebrate. I saw Carmichael Dave walk out on the stage. I shook the commissioner's hand of the MLS. We had him here on this very time slot, and he talked about how he wanted to be here in Sacramento and how great the ownership group was going to be, and everything was locked and loaded and ready to go. Like, I seen Capitol Mall be shut down. It was delivered. You don't bring a commissioner here if it's not delivered. And then all of a sudden, COD, baby. We delivered it, but it wasn't the cash. We had to, send that back to returner. And so that's the one, because I guess I was a grown man and was a part of it. I'm just like, damn, what happened? I know what happened, but what happened?
I think it was around, this would have been before that, if I'm not mistaken, but not that many years, maybe around 2015. And there was a story that Sacramento was very close. Things were close to happening with MLS.
Right.
So I was in town at another station. So I called the league office because I thought, it's a long shot. I'll see if I can get the commissioner on. So I said, Kevin Gleason from Sacramento, I want to talk to the commissioner.
No, you should have said, it's Whitey on the sketchy beat.
Yeah, I might have said that.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, hold on. Then someone else comes on. It's like, oh, you're from Sacramento? I said, yes. They said, I kid you not, are you interested in becoming an investor? And I thought, oh, no. They may have some issues. That actually happened.
Really?
Yes, I kid you not. I'm not kidding.
Man.
I was like, no. And, they didn't know who I was. But
sure.
What? I was like, no, I was trying to get the commissioner. Oh, well, okay, let us get your number.
Right.
You're from Sacramento? Did you want to be an investor? No. So that's when I wondered at that time.
Yeah.
But I know the time you're talking about when they had the big press conference. Didn't the commissioner even say it's not a matter of if, but when? I think he said that.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, literally VIP.
Yeah.
Backstage. Brought it to my, it's like, oh, it was. I have no clue. How about now? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there we go. Maybe, hopefully, we're back.
Yeah,
we'll see.
We're
if
back.
Back. Yeah, there it is. But it's that was a tough one, man. That was a tough one. That was the one. Like, oh man, this is it. Second team to sack.
That's really getting the rug pulled out.
Oh yeah. That's the magician. Mm-hmm. How did you do that?
Houdini, the Houdini of commissioners. Now you got a team. Now you don't. Yeah, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. So I have been having a hard time just coming to terms with the fact, and it's a good thing, don't get me wrong, but the A's coming here because we've had so many times in Sacramento where you're going to get this is going to happen, this is going to happen, and then zip, nope, maybe not. But it's on now. We're just weeks away from Major League Baseball at Sutter Health Park, Jay.
Yeah. Are you out at the first one?
I'd like to be. Okay. I don't know. I'll have to see how that shakes out. They're going to have a few fans out there.
What do you mean? What do you mean? First of all, you Whitey Gleason, you're legendary.
I better be throwing out a first pitch at some point.
Man, you better be, because if you don't.
I've done that for A's games, not once, not twice, 3 times.
Attaboy, get the
Whoa. What happened? Talk about now you see it, now you don't.
What were the occasions besides, hey, Whitey come out? Were there
radio,
Rise guys?
Now from so-and-so radio. Yeah.
Did the Rise guys get out and do it, or just Whitey himself?
No, there's a different edition of the Rise guys that I represented out there one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
when Bob Melvin said, good job. And the guy that caught it said, hey, I had a little cut on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Attaboy. You brought the smoke?
Two-seamer.
A two-seamer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see that little cut piece.
Yeah.
What was the other 2 occasions?
The first time was I was pretty nervous. And I was in the parking lot beforehand. We had some station event. And for some reason, someone had a tennis ball. I was like, oh, yeah, I'll warm up. Well, you can't warm up with a tennis ball when you're going to throw a hard ball.
Yeah.
So I was amped, and I overthrew, and I bounced it. You remember Mickey Tettleton?
Of course.
Mickey Tettleton was the catcher. So
yes,
I threw
sir.
it, and I hit the dirt right in front of him, and he came up with it. And then some guy from Safeway, and here's so-and-so from Safeway. He throws his first pitch. And so then, I run up to get the ball, and Mickey Tettleton holds his mitt out, and I go to grab the ball, and he goes, that's not your ball. And he takes the ball, turns it over. There's a big skid mark, and he goes, there you go. That one's yours. Thanks, Mick.
Mickey T he had the little drop hand batting stance and just be sitting there like, posted up. Love Mickey T. Mickey T, man. That's a name from the Tigers. The Tigers for a while. Yeah. Okay. And then the second one was? Those are 2 of 3. What's the third one?
Second one was took the glove out there this time and I was relaxed, and I just threw like a little nickel curve, little slide piece right in there.
Took a little something off of it.
Right.
Oh, boy. Yeah. You remember who the catcher was?
I want to say Terry Steinbach, but I don't know if it was.
It
was
that
era. I can't believe I remember the pitch, but I can't remember who caught it. Because it was uneventful. Nothing happened.
You just threw a strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, the norm. This is the norm for you.
I just remember right before I threw the pitch, I was like, can I use the restroom? Like, yeah. And I was in the dugout, and I was sitting there going, man, this is where Carney Lansford uses the bathroom. And then it was hard to, get done what I had to get done. It's like, I got to finish because I got to go out and throw out the pitch.
Carney Lansford.
Carney Lansford. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. We will get to the phones when we come right back to Sacktown Sports.
Coach Doug Christie here for your truck headquarters, reminding you that every deal at Folsom Lake Ford is a slam dunk. Shop all your favorite models on sale now, including America's best-selling truck for over 47 years, Ford F-Series, plus a huge selection of Broncos, Bronco Sports, and all of Ford's award-winning SUVs at FolsomLakeFord.com. Listen, I know a great play when I see one, and if you want to save on a new Ford, you gotta drive the lane straight to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Right now, buy any new Ford with 0 down on approval of credit. Save big with low interest financing, and Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. So hurry to Folsom Lake Ford, a 6-time Triple Crown winner for sales and service excellence. That's why they're my trusted dealer, and they should be yours too. Tell them Coach Doug Christie sent you, or shop them online at FolsomLakeFord.com.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com
Oh, I'm ready!
and get ready for the workday.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
One ticket, two huge shows.
The Sacramento Boat Show plus the Big RV Show. Multiple dealers discounting all the best brands. Hundreds of wakeboard boats, fishing boats, and pontoon boats. Acres and acres of travel trailers, fifth wheel, toy hauler, and motorhome. Plus ATVs too. Two shows, one massive event. The Sacramento Boat Show plus the Big RV Show.
March 6th through 9th at Sacramento's Cal Expo.
Find discounts at twohugeshows.com.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Yeah, thanks for being with us. I don't know about this. EB in the chat toast is Phantom throughout the first pitch before Whitey. That's fine. I mean, I'd love to see Phantom out there. Phantom's a real ball player. A real hard baller. Yeah. I think he and I both threw out the first pitch at River Cats and the Yuba City Gold Sox.
Gold Sox,
like
baby.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I was going to go to the phone here, Jay, but I'm not sure I'll be able to hear the call.
Yeah, it's true here. Hold on. I'm trying to figure things out. Just hold tight. We got a lot of technical difficulties right now. We're trying to get through.
Yeah, so thanks for your patience, callers, but I'm afraid that if I put you on the air, I might not be able to hear you at this time because we've been having some crazy stuff going on here. And thanks to you for your patience, and thanks to our engineers been working like crazy, and Jay's been working like crazy, get this taken care of. Let's try one and see how it goes. Can we try a caller? Yeah, let's try Ashley. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. How are you, Ashley?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good. What's on your mind?
So, a couple of things. First, in regards to the first pitch that you were mentioning, did you happen to shake him off at all?
Did I happen to what at all?
Did you happen to shake off a pitch?
Shake off a pitch.
Shake off.
Did you shake off a pitch?
I did not. And in fact, the third one I threw, I didn't even go up on the mound, and I got ridiculed for that.
I see. That's pretty funny. I would have shook off a pitch, but I wanted to first mention about the A's. I'm super excited to see what's going to come of the A's season this year. I think Brent Rooker was a really, really good signing back when we got him for 5 years, $60. And I think it's going to be a good season. As far as the Kings go, though, I know that you guys have been talking about Doug wanting to get to 53s. I think if we need to do that, or if he wants to do that, I think we need to run more Sabonis and Jonas sets, because any missed three is going to turn into an opportunity for another. What do you think about that?
Thank you, Ashley, for the call. And by the way, that is a funny idea, shaking off first pitch. My buddy Mark Kreidler, he was going to do that. They call it a Busby, where you like fake home and then throw to first, or fake to first then throw home. But he didn't do it. But that would have been a good idea. Doug doesn't seem crazy about the two bigs, playing the two bigs together, Jay.
No, not so. The king size combo.
Yeah.
I don't think it's on the top of his list at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it would pose too many problems for them defensively. Domas then would have an unfavorable matchup. So I understand what you're saying, Ashley, about how that would open up some things from 3-point line, but I don't think we're going to see that. And frankly, I don't know about you, Jay. I don't think we're going to see the Kings shooting 53s.
No. And I don't think Coach Christie believes that either. I think it's just one of those things where, it's a dream. It's a pipe dream.
Yeah.
And if you get there, then, oh, wow. But I mean, it's almost unnatural to shoot 53s.
You get hurt.
Forcing it. Yeah.
Somebody get hurt. Coach, my arm. Let's go to Chris. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Let's talk to Chris here in Sacktown Sports. How are you, Chris?
I'm good, guys. How you doing today?
Good. What's on your mind?
So I have a Brock Purdy question. I know you guys aren't talking about this, but
that's all right.
I'm a 49er fan. I like Brock Purdy, but if I'm not mistaken, Brock Purdy is coming into his 5th-year option for $6 million. You franchise him the next year, $40, $45 million. You could franchise him a second time for $50 million. What's the motivation for the 49ers to sign him for top dollar? They literally have control of him for 3 years at roughly $100 million. And then if they offer him top dollar after that, he's probably going to take the contract. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to outbid them if they give him a top deal after that. I don't really understand why I like Brock Purdy. I think you should pay him, but they do control his contract for 3 years and roughly $100 million. Why wouldn't they just go that route?
Thanks, Chris. I think that's probably their ace in the hole here with negotiations. If things don't go the way they want here, they can always play that card. But other than that, Jay, I think they just really want to get it taken care of, and they want to make sure that their quarterback is as satisfied and as happy as he can be.
Yeah, I think that's number one. Is they don't have the best track record with stars and making sure that those guys are signed, sealed, and delivered, talking about signed, sealed, and delivered as quick as possible. So it's really the feeling and the motion of it. And, unlike a corner, a safety, an offensive lineman, I'll take an argument, but the quarterback is the number one premier position, and you don't want to mess around with that. And then the second part of it is when you really sit down and look at it, the 49ers do a great job of this, Chris, which is we see it every single year. They're always restructuring contracts, right?
Yeah.
And so the great part about signing someone now is you can kind of decide, unlike a franchise tag, which is pretty much slotted, you're going to have to pay this on that time and this point, like the league dictates the franchise tag, where if you come to negotiation with the player, you can kind of be creative of how you pay that person.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's like, okay, listen, guaranteed, you get 120 million guaranteed, 140 guaranteed. Let's just say, I'll give you 75 up front. And then in the back half, the cap won't be as large, so you can kind of be creative down the road, 2, 3, 4 years down the road.
Yeah.
And front load the contract, back load the contract, all kind of different things.
Yeah. I don't think Brock Purdy's contract obviously is going to be a huge raise for him.
No.
But I don't think the 49ers have been preparing for this.
Yes.
So I don't think it's really something that's going to handicap them. So your question is, why would they do it? I think it's just a matter of getting it done, getting that resolved, rather than having this year-to-year situation with the quarterback. But to your point, I mean, again, as I said, it is an option for them. If negotiations don't go well this year, they could play that card if they had to.
And $40 million, that'd be on the cheap at a quarterback position.
Right,
and Chris is spot on, because I was looking at this a couple of days ago. The NFL released their 2025 franchise tender. It is $40 million, like 40.3, I believe. As Shohei went deep at the bottom of the first. Did you see that?
His first at bat of the
I've been
year.
paying attention to it here as they playing the Angels.
That's his first game of the year, and the first time up, and he goes Yardbird.
I know. It's like, dang. And I love Ron Washington.
I do too.
Skipper the Angels. Man, I love Ron. That's a strike, Blue. Call it out. See, that's the problem right there. And that's where you get people want to talk about automatic strike and ball, review. Mm-hmm. That's a strike. That's right down the middle. What are we doing here, Blue? This is a spring training. Make the batter swing the bat or go sit down. It's one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it just behooves the 49ers to keep it kosher with their franchise.
Get it resolved. Yeah. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. How about Sally on Sacktown Sports? Hello, Sally. How are you?
Hi. Yeah. I had to jump off before I heard.
I'm sorry. I can't hear Sally at all, Jay. I apologize. Did Sally come on?
Can you hear?
Yeah. Let's see. You can't hear Sally?
No, I apologize. Do you want to answer her question?
Hear me now?
Or do you want me to?
How about Sally? What's your question? Let's see here.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to know what song you decided for the Kings. And I'm old school and like Eye of the Tiger.
Okay. Got you. So Sally asked, thank you for the call, Sally. Sally asked about the theme song for the Sacramento Kings. We had the conversation with Doug Christie, and Doug was saying, look, we need a theme song for our team right now for the rest of the season. And he was astonished that they didn't have one all season. And so she's like, Eye of the Tiger. That's her recommendation. She's an Eye of the Tiger fan.
I think they're probably talking about something that they listen to a lot, right? In the locker room.
Yeah.
And it's probably not Eye of the Tiger. So, that's what, because when we first heard that, one of my first instincts was, we'll come up with a theme song for them. Then I realized, no, that's something they're going to have to do on that.
Oh, yeah. They have to. Organic
is
going to have to happen.
Yeah.
100% on that.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Not a bad idea, though, from Sally. How about Mitch has been hanging on? Let's see if I can hear Mitch. Hey, Mitch, what's up?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good, Mitch. How are you?
Pretty good. By the way, Jay, do you like Queen? I think Queen's before your time. Like Frank
definitely.
Sinatra, he's before my time. So it's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's
I go Blue Eyes too, though. I'll play a little Blue Eyes here and there.
Okay, you got me there too. I mean, I don't like the guy personally, but his music is pretty good. I'm talking about Frank Sinatra and Queen too, and Queen. A's. I wanted to have that name, Sacramento A's. When a woman gets remarried again, she doesn't keep her old husband's name. She changes her last name. You move them 4 years. Hopefully, maybe you'll be able to keep them. Maybe build a stadium, come up with some money. It's only the capital of California, one of the richest state in the country. I know it's been having problems, especially in the South. It's what a disaster. All I got to say with the Kings is it's going to be tough to get that sixth spot. You'd be playing Denver right now. I'd rather see them get the lottery, but I think Phoenix and Portland just not going to come up. They're going to come up shorter than the Kings, And by the way, the Kings, they have too many short guys. I think Denver and Oklahoma, they have the guys that much. They're deeper teams, and I've spoken enough today. Thanks, Tim Cole. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Mitch. We'll come back and look at some of those kingly concerns and get back to the phones as well. Thanks for your patience. And thank you, Jay. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. It's The Drive. Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Hey, everybody, it's your boy Kyle Draper. You know I'm a big guy, right, everybody? So sometimes, even my SUV or sedan, I want a little more space. Maybe I want to take the fellas to the football game or to the basketball game. Maybe I want to go golfing. Well, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton has the perfect solution. They have a Vans Fleet Center, and they understand your business needs. They understand your personal needs as well. They have a great inventory and a huge selection, and plus they have the perfect van to power your fleet, including the new fully electric e-Sprinter alongside those reliable diesel options. So if you're looking for a new van just for personal reasons or even for your business fleet, head on over to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. And get this, you can take advantage of their exclusive limited time 0% APR financing offer for up to 60 months on select models. So head down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton or online at mbfstockton.com and tell them Drape sent you.
The huge President's Day sale is on at Maida Chevy, Sacramento's Silverado headquarters.
Save $10,250 off MSRP after rebates on new half-ton Silverado LT after rebates with over 50 in stock.
And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area.
$10,250 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
I'm George Washington, and I approved this message. Not available with special financing, leasing, some other offers. 5 to the Silver Mustang 2011 or newer Chevrolet.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Congratulations on taking the first step, lift, and run to a fitter you. Your next challenge? Keeping the momentum going. At InShape Fitness, we have everything you need to keep all those reps from getting repetitious. From more studio classes than you can kick up your heels at, to our turf and functional areas. If InShape had a middle name, it would be there's more than one way to tone a muscle, which is a bit of a mouthful. So we usually leave that out when we introduce ourselves. We are InShape. You are ready. Join online today at InShape.com.
Music, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Before we get back to the Kings, we do have some baseball on here. We got basketball on. And as we mentioned, maybe you saw it yourself, Shohei Ohtani made his spring training debut just earlier this hour against the Angels. And in his first at-bat, he hit a home run. But then we were talking about something, and Jay went off a little bit on a pitch that was called a ball that he thought was a strike. So, Jay, obviously they don't have the ABS automatic ball strike in this game because they didn't use it. But you're in favor of that, huh? You like the ABS?
No.
You don't like the ABS?
No, Ray. I think we had that conversation.
Yeah.
I prefer the umpire.
Okay.
Yeah, but
because in that instance where we just saw, if they'd had it, the pitcher could have gone like this and they'd have checked it.
Yeah, but it's one of my things. I'm just, I guess, a traditionalist. It's like, Blue, this spring training big time. We don't want to be here for 4 hours. It's the battle of SoCal. Make these guys swing the rock. It's like it's just kind of one of them things. You got lumber in your hand, swing it. Mm-hmm. This isn't a regular season game, and so I just think sometimes umpires might be a little shifty because of the ABS right now, and so just call a strike, man. It's right down the middle, just because it's a little belt tie right now.
Mm-hmm.
So the ump's got to flex his muscles as well.
Yeah,
to let the guys know.
Yeah, so we're not going to see that this year during the regular season, but if they're trying it out at the major league level in spring training, I think it's coming. Maybe next year. Yes, I do. I think it's one of these things that maybe the players are resisting, but baseball's going to force it down their throats. So I think that's what this is. They're just getting us ready for it. Hopefully it won't slow the games down. What do you think? We didn't talk about this, but I know this has been talked about. What do you think about the NFL this year going to the computer chip in the football, so they will be able to tell through laser technology whether it's a first down or not, but they will still have the referees, officials spotting the ball?
Yeah. I don't know. We get to the point to where technology is intruding on sports, and for good reason in certain instances. But I know people have said this before. You have the tracker in tennis, and you can see where the tennis ball is going, and if it hits the line or if it's out. Why we can't do that with football and basketball and baseball? And I guess that's where we're getting. So, I'm not arguing it. Put a chip in the ball and let's figure it out.
And apparently they will. They're going to do that, but the officials are still going to spot the ball. The way it was described, I was a little not entirely clear on it. So the officials still go out and spot the ball, but then if they spot it and they're wrong and it's a first down, they get notified immediately. Why don't they just get notified where the ball goes?
The buzz?
Yeah.
And you know where this is coming from, right? It's the Josh Allen play against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And we've had this before. Review was created was it the Vinny Testaverde, the Jets? Was that the Steelers and the Jets?
Sure.
Situation, and that's why review kicked into it. And I'm blanking on. It's Friday now.
Yeah,
we're almost out.
We're almost there.
But it always takes something to really push the narrative.
To trigger it.
Yes, to push it. It's like I'm okay with the chip in the football. I have no problem with it. Get it right. Don't slow it down. I'm okay. That's where I'm at.
Keep it moving.
Yeah, I don't want to be sitting around for 30 minutes, on week 3, Jacksonville and Cleveland over there in Germany, and we're trying to figure it out. Like, 7:10 in the morning.
You're optimistic when it comes to the Kings, Jay. You made that point many times, and bless you for it. Going forward here into this road trip, into this difficult month, into the difficult stretch that the Kings face the rest of the season, what do you think are your concerns? Every team has concerns. I'm not being negative.
Sure.
Every team has things they're concerned about. How would you list yours? How would you prioritize them going forward? To me right now, my number one is the turnovers.
Okay.
Yeah. And, maybe that's easier fixed than some other things. But right now, my biggest worry about the Kings is why they continue to turn the ball over so much and in such sloppy fashion, which to me gets back to the fact that you're relying on a point guard who's still in some ways learning the position. So to me, that's my number one concern right now is bad turnovers.
Give me your 2.
2 would still be defense.
Okay.
Yeah. And like we discussed with Jerry, it's just a fact of the matter. They're not a great defensive team in terms of having great individual defenders, but Doug's done a creative job of recognizing that and kind of papering around it with some of the different things he's done to junk up the games. But, you know, if you want to make up ground in the West, you're going to have to defend. Like Monty said, we just want to defend, you know, good enough. Well, I think that's going to require some improvement. They're capable of that, but I think that's vitally important.
And you got a third one?
Not off the top of my head, not yet.
So the first, you took one of mine, which was defense. I think defense for me is probably number 3.
Mm-hmm.
I just, for whatever reason, my mind just said give you top 3. Defense for me is number 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm skipping 2 because I'm still trying to figure out, but the number 1 for me is cohesion.
Mm-hmm.
Camaraderie, cohesion. This team is hosh-posh. This is kind of all thrown together.
Yeah.
You know, this is, let me take, you know, I'm going to make me a little stew. I'm going to make me a little soup. And I have 2 or 3 things that's left over from 2 or 3 other ingredients that's left over for a few meals. And I'm going to just kind of put them all in a pot. And hopefully that broth boils up nicely and it all comes together. And so that's number 1 for me.
Yeah.
Cohesion. I think this team is ultra talented. I'm just not sure, as much as I've been positive, I'm not sure that this team is going to gel quick enough.
Now you cook a little, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever watch any of the cooking shows? I see them sometimes.
Very rarely. I'm a barbecue guy. I like to watch barbecue shows.
The competition sometimes I like when they get a basket. Was that chopped? It's like they get a basket and then make something out of that.
Octopus, green onion, pumpkin, squash.
Yeah.
Like,
and
white yam.
And envelopes. Yeah.
Gelatin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rice Krispie treat.
So I've noticed on some of those, and I haven't watched one in a while, but sometimes when the cooks, the chefs, pardon me, they're not sure what to do, they make a hash, you know, which is like, yeah, I'm making a hash. And I think, to me, that's what you're saying about this roster, which I get. It's like some of this, some of that, some of that. We got kind of a hash. We're not sure how it's going to taste yet, though.
Yeah, but we think it's going to be okay because we've kind of prepared it how we prepare all hashes. Yeah, for sure. For me, it's just cohesion. I'm not sure this team has got enough opportunity to really, come together and gel in a short time. And then you just throw it just felt like for 2 or 3 weeks, it was just something on top of the next thing, on top of the next thing.
Yeah.
It's, new coach. Okay. Absolute star doesn't want to be here or does want to be here, should be traded. He was traded. And after that, it's like, we need a big man. And then, okay, we got this. And then this person's hurt. And, just always something on top of it.
So there've been a lot in the basket.
Yes.
Like sweet potatoes and squid and asparagus.
Right.
Yeah.
Teriyaki sauce.
Yes. Yes.
And then we're going to need you some chickpeas. How about you do something? So that, 3 for me, excuse me. And so my second one, 3 is defense. My second one is, and I don't really look at schedule. I know it's a crazy schedule, but number 2 is kind of like a combination, which is, you talked about back-to-backs. We talked about on the road. It's winning the games that you need to win. This team has a very difficult time. And even though they've done a good job this year of beating the teams, and then we just saw the last 2 games, you got to win those games, and they won them pretty handsomely. You got to win the San Antonio game.
Mm-hmm.
You got to beat Portland. You have to knock down Phoenix twice.
Yes.
Those, to me.
You got to beat Dallas.
You got to beat Dallas if you want to get to where you want to be, your goal, the end-all goal. And if you just do that, there's enough winnable games that I think you'll stumble into the play-in no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have an opportunity now to maybe jump into that 6th, and I know you think the Warriors are kind of, on the upswing, you can stun a Cleveland once, beat a Memphis once, maybe sneak out a win at home against Denver. So I think you just need to win the games that are in front of you that we know you are the favorite on paper.
Yeah, I think my third concern here, I have turnovers, which has to do with who's playing point, and then the defense, and then just the 3-point shooting. And there's been some promising signs of late. And I think that has to continue to be consistent and maybe even get a little better for them to really make some strides. With Zach LaVine, they have an opportunity to do that. And, Keegan has been shooting the ball a lot better since he took a couple of games off because he had a bad heel or bad ankle. He's not shooting it great, but he's shooting it a lot better, and his numbers have been trending upward. So I'm optimistic about that, but at the same time, I'm concerned about that because we know they have been underperforming all year long, and I think it's vitally important that they continue to get better in that regard. They can. We'll see if they do. Even DeMar is shooting a career high from 3 this year.
Yeah, he is, and DeMar's been doing his thing, pretty much all season. He's been a constant. There's been a couple of games where it's like, oh, okay, DeMar only gave you 10, 12, 8 one time, I remember. But then, he kind of follows it up with the DeMar performance. And all eyes are going to be on a few different players. I think Zach LaVine for sure is under the microscope. He's kind of got to move into being the head of the snake. I think DeMar, you're kind of leaning on to be, that all-star type of talent, that veteran. And no doubt about it, Malik is definitely someone that people have their eyes on. And then, you further look on and it's like, ooh, Keegan, I need you to fill in somewhere, And we had the legendary Jerry Reynolds on earlier, and he talked about he feels that Domas might be a little gassed.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody here in the text line says ever since we got Jonas, Sabonis's game has been off. And I was going to mention, even Jerry Reynolds says he's a little concerned over the last couple of games. The way I asked that question, I thought Jerry was going to say, he's fine. But to your point, Jay, he didn't say that. And he says Domas does look a little gassed. You were just talking about Keegan. To me, those are the two guys whose roles have changed the most since they got the new players. Malik has to do more, but Keegan and Domas, in some ways, they're being asked to do, I think, less. And it's been an interesting adjustment for them.
Yeah, definitely. Especially Keegan. For sure. Yeah, and Domas. Yeah, I think you're right. You're spot on.
Even in the last game, though, and I say that, and Keegan did have that big game, but it was interesting. He said, I just felt more involved. So it's going to take somebody looking for him, or like Jerry said, he's just got to look for a shot more. He's got to involve himself.
Right. And I mean, to be honest, that's kind of been the question that we've all been asking Keegan anyway since he's been in the league. So it ain't nothing different. I think it's just, sometimes it's brought into the forefront depending on how the Kings are winning or losing or operating, I should say. And then sometimes it just kind of moves to the back of the car. Sometimes we forget about it. It's not the biggest deal. It's something that he's going to have to figure out. And, I know I've talked about it. I've thrown it out there this week. That's going to be part of the conversation. You're going to have a conversation about, hey, look, I get it. Slotting, rookie deals, extensions, what he means, where you drafted him, draft position, how much stock you've already invested into him. But damn, I mean, if someone's going to look at a line and say it might be more negatives than positives, and some are going to say more positive than negatives, I'm not sure we had a conversation right now, but it's a question that people continue to ask.
Yeah, and here's another question. The Kings are an athletic, talented team. Why can't they defend better? We'll answer that.
Is mine.
Yeah, we'll answer that when we come back to Sacktown Sports.
This Saturday, Kings and Rockets. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip-off at 5.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Something amazing is happening in education. Students are inspired and engaged. That's because school districts consulted with CDW, who designed modern classroom solutions with pre-configured HP devices, making learning more accessible, secure, and immersive. Now, when students study topics like elephants, it feels like elephants are there with them. HP and CDW make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/HPPSG.
Jackson Hewitt wants you to save money on tax prep. We're saving money by having our intern rap in this commercial.
Don't stress, Jackson Hewitt's got expert tax prep, $149 or less. Yo, some tax guys lie about price. What? They got hidden fees, that ain't nice. Ain't nice. Don't ignore MC Kevin's rhyme, because this deal's for a limited time. $149.
For tax prep that's $149 or less, hurry into Jackson Hewitt today.
No cap.
Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends over at Jiffy Lube, and they want to show some customer love this month with their February oil change deals you can find online today. Visit jiffylube.com and find a service center near you to see these sweetheart deals. Get it? During the month of February. Here's what you do. Drive into savings at jiffylube.com today and let yourself save in the month of February. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you. What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, tell me what's happening for the President's Day sales event.
Right now, save thousands and thousands more in the years to come when you save up to $14,000 off MSRP on all remaining new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe plug-in hybrids.
Chad, on all remaining 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe plug-in hybrids?
Yes, all of them. And with 56 MPGE, you'll love hauling the family around in one of America's favorite SUVs. Plus, you can't miss the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter with over 220 vehicles available and 40 starting under $20,000.
Don't miss your chance to save. Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
14,000 total net savings on all remaining new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe plug-in models after 8,500 factory rebates and 5,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include 500 first responder bonus cash for eligible members. At least 5 of this net savings. See dealer for details.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Here's a question on the text line. Why aren't they good defenders? Do they just not try hard enough on defense? They are an athletic, talented team. Why can't they defend better? From the 530. I don't know how you feel about it, Jay. The bottom line on that is it's just the reason they don't defend better is defense is maybe the hardest thing to do in sports.
Yeah.
Maybe it's hitting a baseball. I know the percentages, years ago, everyone used to have this debate every so often. What's the hardest thing to do in sports? Well, it's being a good hitter. And certainly that's difficult. When you consider the skill of the athletes at the NBA level, and he has the ball or she, if you're talking about, WNBA or college basketball, and I got to go out there, especially if they haven't dribbled yet, and I got to close out on them. I got to try to stop them. It's very difficult. So even if you're a good athlete, and it does require a lot of, determination, but there's a lot more to it than that. That old cliche that your defense is all about desire and hustle. It's not true. It's a lot about physical ability at the highest level.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely difficult to do. It's not easy. Absolutely. If it was easy, it'd be a lot of more players who are great at it, let alone good at it. I think it's definitely the most I guess difficult thing to do in basketball.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of us look at it and assume if someone's not doing it well, that means they're not trying. And I don't think that's true. And I think Domas has been a great example of that. And I think he's gotten better defensively, but he gives everything he has. And sometimes he's just a little overmatched.
Yeah.
But it's not because he's not trying.
Yeah, no, definitely. I like Domas tries.
Yes.
Now if you want to question other people, and I'm not saying on the Sacramento Kings, I'm just talking about throughout the league. Yeah, there's definitely some times you're like, this dude's not even, he doesn't
James
care.
Harden.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But I don't know. I don't know why it's so hard.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
Mm-hmm. I know that years ago, Draymond criticized Jokic for not being a good defender.
Yeah.
And Jokic said, thank you. You're right. And he applied himself more and became a better defender. But a guy like Jokic is even as big as he is. He's probably never going to be a great defender.
Nah. Yeah. I don't think it's as easy as black and white, 1, 2, 3. right? I think it's one of those things where you're either good at it or you're not. Or I've heard coaches say this, and sometimes they're guilty of this because they are a coach. If you have the tools in your toolkit for you to be a good defender, I believe I can teach you that. But I'm not necessarily caught up on that either.
Yeah, well, Zach's one of those guys about whom people say that. Yes. And we talked to Casey Johnson from Chicago, and he said, Zach has told me, said he, that he's a good on-ball defender, but when he's off the ball in defense, he kind of loses his focus a little bit. But between Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan and Malik, if they're on the floor together at the same time, which they are a lot, none of those guys are very good defenders. And so Doug's got to deal with that's just the reality.
Yeah.
And I know it's got to be frustrating for a guy like Doug Christie to see somebody who's a good athlete who can't defend because, Doug was such a great defender. I mean, a truly great defender.
Yeah. Well, one of those things with defense for me is sometimes you're either born with it or you're not. You got to have the instincts. You have to have the quick feet, the lateral movement, the mentality to also be good at defense. Defense is not one of those things that you naturally go out and play basketball doing. It's normally you and the rim, sometimes you, the rim, and the player, and the ball, of course. You working on your handle, your dribble, your shot, things like that. A lot of times you don't walk out there and immediately get into a defensive position and get into that. And so I think it's just something that you want to have to do, and as we know in the NBA, they're not really hung up on defense, meaning the league. They don't necessarily want to have great defenders all the time because it would be boring. If we're watching 78 to 75 every single night, I'm pretty sure we would stop talking. I mean, we would bring D up a little more on the negative tone of it.
That's a great point. I hadn't really thought of that. We're going to see a guy tomorrow night in Amen Thompson who he loves playing defense.
Sir.
So I think a lot of it has to do with your confidence. So much of athletics, especially at the highest of highest levels, is about your confidence. And some guys aren't very confident defenders, and some guys are like, let's go.
Competition.
Somebody in the chat here in the text line actually says, they ask, why was Artest so good? Anticipation. Artest was another guy that loved playing defense, and he was strong.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to give it to you a little rawer, too, because it's Friday, and I want to leave some people. We're trying to instruct around here, try to give some food for thought.
Yeah.
You are a product of your environment. No doubt about it. Your competitor, if you were a competitor, more times than not, you're not trying to lose at anything. And a lot of times when you really take a step back and look at it, guys who are considered great defenders, and it's kind of like what Deion Sanders, coach of Colorado, is saying. He's taken a lot of flack. And I'll use him as an example. He's like, listen, my quarterback, I want from a 2-parent home, and I want his parents, one parent to be high educated. I want an educated fella. My defensive lineman, I want him to come from a broken home, a 1-parent home, the hood, And so if you really read in between the lines is what he's saying is there's a different level of competition. And, people get at me here sometimes like, oh, Jay, you talk as if you won everything. It's like, no, I'm not. But at the highest level, I don't want to lose. I'm a product of my environment, where I come from. Every day was a struggle. Every day was real. And I'm not saying other people don't have that, because they do. But take a step back and look at where people come from and the competition and what it has taken them to get to where they're at. And sometimes you can read between the lines and figure that out too.
I'd say some players.
It's a dog.
Yeah.
He's a dog.
Right. Every player would like to win, right? Everybody would like to win.
Yeah, well, not necessarily.
Well, they would like to win.
I've met some people who don't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think most people would prefer to win.
Sure.
But there's some people, especially at the professional level, who they have to win.
Yes.
It's like if they don't if they don't win, they're miserable.
I'm broken.
Those people tend to be good defenders.
Yes, I'm broken. Right. And that's what I said. There's a percentage and take the opportunity, if you do this weekend, to go see what Coach Prime said. And he's like, listen, I've broken this down to every statistical category that I possibly can. And the greats come from this, you know, and the okays come from this home and this environment and this community. And yeah, there's always exceptions to the rule. Absolutely. I'm not up here to say you can't be an exception to the rule, but you are a product of your environment. You definitely are. And so I think that has something to do with your upbringing, where you come from, what's been instilled in you. Definitely. Hence why I continue to talk about it. Good defenders are normally considered a dog.
Yeah.
He's a dog.
Yep. Let's give the last word here to Tin, who's been hanging on for a long time. Tin, thank you for hanging. Apologize, we're having some issues. What's on your mind today, sir?
Hey, Whitey, I appreciate you bringing me on the last
And
few
I
seconds.
cannot hear Tin at all. I apologize.
Yo, Whitey. Hello?
Go ahead,
Whitey?
Tim. We can hear you, brother. I can hear you.
Yo. All right, Jay, brother. I appreciate y'all for bringing me on the last few seconds.
Okay.
All right. Yo, I just realized something really cool. DeMar DeRozan, right? Right after Toronto. What's Toronto colors? Purple and red. He went to Chicago, which is red, and then Sacramento, which is purple.
Okay. So 10 has he's playing on the color wheel. He's like, he just realized something cool. DeMar played for the Raptors.
Yeah.
Red, purple were the colors. Chicago was red, and now Sacramento purple.
All right. Thank you, Tin. Appreciate that. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate it. Check us out tomorrow morning, True Sports Card Show. Have a great weekend. Stick around. Infinity Radio Network, Infinity Sports Radio Network is next right here on Sacktown Sports.